RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
Dickens, Hemingway, Tolkien. These are some of the greatest writers of our generation. But this isn't about them. This is the exact opposite. Welcome to the Bad Book Club with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
Rando Nation, welcome to the Bad Book Club. As you just heard,
so bad
from the intro, got my brother-in-law Matthew Scarborough. He recorded.
Okay, hold on. When the way you introduced that was my brother-in-law, and I thought you were about to say Salty Dalton.
My brother-in-law Salty Dalton didn't tell you about the marriage. No, my brother-in-law Matthew Scarborough, my sister's husband. So
come on, man. I know this guy. We've gotten drinks together.
So, with the...
I literally saw him last week.
You saw him naked, too.
Yeah.
So with this show, we haven't really had like a solid intro. Like I recorded something and I used that for last episode. I got him to actually record something.
You're flying rogue. Have
you listened to last episode? Have you listened to last episode? So
yes.
when I do the whole like Dickens, Hemingway, like Bad Book Club. So like I got him to record that himself now. So instead of my voice, you'll be hearing... Same scripts, yes. A little bit of nuance.
You're flying off the handle. You're making administrative decisions that you have no right to make.
I'm 50% of the show. I'm what makes the wheels turn. You're the face. You're the face of the franchise.
It doesn't feel like it. I'm just going to tell you right up, it doesn't feel like it.
You're Alex Bregman. I'm Dusty Baker. I'm behind the scenes. I'm managing things. You're the guy that's going up to bat every day. The analogy works. The metaphor works, whichever one applies in this situation.
The Astros, though?
I don't know. I was looking at Dusty Baker stuff. This is the Bad Book Club. If you are just listening to this for the first time, stop.
Go back episode.
Listen to part 1. Read the book. Again, it's wild. Devil's Point Wolves #1. It's the Mating Season Collection by Eliza Gale. It is a free Kindle ebook. We gave you all the instructions and things like that, but you got to go back, otherwise this episode's not going to make any fucking sense.
Well, to be honest, the whole book doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is true, and I will mention a couple things on the top before we get started. So we will on this episode do chapters 6 through 9 and finish off the book. We've also got
it's a novella, so it's a shorter book, if that's why you're wondering why it ends so quickly.
Yes, it does end a little quickly.
Too.
And then we've got some discussion questions.
Yep. And then we'll pick a brand new free book.
We'll pick it on the show. I've got 3 options that I'm going to pitch to Salty Dalton. I've vetted them through a couple of the Rando fans. They liked it as well. It's going to be good. But wanted to shout out, Rando Nation gave us probably one of our best download days we've ever had with this show. As far as the numbers we were putting up in that single day was usually what we get over a span of time, a couple days worth. On Friday morning, they just poured in the downloads. It was unbelievable. So, shout out to you guys for supporting the Bad Book Club on that end. Salty Dalton, second half of this book.
Bonkers.
Absolutely bad compared to the first half. Now, the first half was like kind of setting the scene. Second half gets crazy right off the bat.
Eliza Gale takes your foot, turns it into a werewolf, ties it to the gas pedal, and then jumps out of the car.
It's going to get good.
In your Mini Cooper. And you go screaming over the bridge. Yeah.
Right. The Mini Cooper with the radius and the wolves. So definitely go back and check out that last episode if you haven't. We're going to jump right in. Where we left off, Salty Dalton, after chapter 5 was Faith and Damien, our main characters in this book. Faith was injured and such. We've got some good quotes.
Just like as soon as you open chapter 6, I've already got 2 highlights.
Oh, yeah, so do I.
Like
I wonder if we have like the same highlights.
Yeah. Especially the bottom half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So Faith and Damien. Faith had gone through this whole traumatic experience, as you know.
I just keep reading.
It's gonna be good.
This sentence is one of the greatest sentences in the entire English language. Anyway, so yeah, we're recapping 6 through 9.
Yeah, 6 through 9. So, but where we left off was Damien and Faith had had gone to sleep because Faith had gone through the whole traumatic stuff.
He took her back to his house, right?
I thought they might still be in the motel, but you may be right. He may have taken her back to the house. I think
they went somewhere because he walked around the Jeep in his weird like triangle body.
Well, that was earlier. That was when they were leaving the club.
Oh, I could have sworn they left again.
Yeah, no, they may have, but I'm pretty sure they're still in the. Yeah, no, they're still in the motel because she went to the bathroom to go take medicine and stuff. Yeah,
she threw up all over herself in the bathroom,
right.
and then he scrubbed her with a washcloth while she was clothed.
Yes, and that's
which
going
was
to change
the
pretty soon.
coolest part. Yeah.
So chapter 6, let's dive right in. So Salty Dalton, Faith wakes up, right?
Yep. Damien sensed it before.
Yeah, because he's got that
she
wolf.
was awake.
He's got that werewolf scent.
He was like, her breathing changed.
So she gets up quickly. He can sense it. He calms her down. It's just me, Faith.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, this is what he says.
Sure.
I'm going to try to not bother to mask the desire coursing through him. Okay, easy, Faith. He whispered into air, not bothering to mask the desire coursing through him when he spoke. How do you feel?
Also, keep in mind he's whispering in her ear directly,
Like right up in her ear.
If you've had somebody whisper in your ear,
It's not a pleasant experience.
Not really.
Unless you're like really into ASMR, where it's like, and then they went there.
Which we could do an entire podcast on ASMR sometimes.
And then like he's a wolf.
Then you got to do the.
So
You got to like scratch into the microphone.
was just.
Hey, he's got that big old beard and that unibrow.
Disgusting.
So he whispers into Faith's ear, and he asks how she feels, and she says, "I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with you laying on top of me."
Hold on, because they fell asleep. Okay, unless they moved to a bed. The last scene,
They were in the bathroom. She had puke all over, and he was
puke
wiping
all
her
over
off.
her. They're lying in the tub, and now he has crawled on top of her.
Yes.
A larger
man.
Yeah.
Large man. He chuckles and tightens his hold on her. So I assume there's some sort of spooning situation happening.
A weird reverse spooning, but it's like a sandwich. The guy's
Yeah,
on
because
top.
he's on top spooning. He says, "I was keeping you warm. Your fever broke hours ago, and I didn't want you to get cold." Now go ahead
Get
and
a
read.
fucking blanket, dog.
Go ahead and read this next couple sentences.
Oh,
here.
I love this. I love this so much. She started to stir, which resulted in her panty-covered bottom. What else would it be covered with?
Yep.
And how did she end up in panties?
Her puke-covered bottom.
She never took off her
Last
pants.
last time we were dealing with Faith, she was
Fully
literally
clothed.
being rubbed down, fully clothed.
Yes. So, her panty-covered bottom rubbing across his very hard groin. How is her butt rubbing his groin when he's on top of her and she's looking up?
I didn't even notice that the first time I read it. You're completely right.
He coiled his.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, actually, no.
Unless-
That's his dick is 6 feet long,
Well,
so obviously.
unless she is face down and he is also face down
In the
and he's like
bathtub,
holding her
holding
like that.
onto
In
her.
that case, her face would be smashed against like the tile
Yes.
or whatever.
And you know, my first question would be, when I woke up, if I was Faith, why are my pants off? I didn't want you to get cold,
That's true.
so I took off your clothes.
It's very hard groin.
She froze. He bit his lips to keep from laughing. What?
Haven't used that technique before.
Out of context, this would be like a literal sexual harassment, snippet of conversation.
He's on top of her, holding her tighter, and he's rock hard.
It's first thing in the morning. What did you expect to feel? Oh my god.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Gross.
that's fair.
Yeah, sure, but
So she's starting. Her heart's beating faster. He starts like smelling her a little bit. He's mentioned this before earlier in the book, but he's smelling her again. He's saying this time she didn't smell like fear, so that's good. That she's not
at
scared
least it's
right
maybe
now.
consensual.
That agitated his wolf, and the last thing he needed to do right now was agitate anything.
His wolf sounds like the horniest creature on the planet.
His wolf is a
In fact,
sexual predator.
I'm actually not convinced that he's a real wolf. It's just
No.
that's what he calls.
We have no evidence of that yet.
That's what he calls his libido.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wolf got really active
That's
last
true.
night.
It could be like the name for his dick, like how guys like name their dicks different things. It could
Yeah.
be, this is the wolf.
And it's clawing out from the inside of him.
Yeah.
It's the pants, remember? Because he had to adjust his manhood.
Because it was so tight. He was skinned his painted on pants. So he does, however, smell some arousal from her. And here's a great sentence. We actually used this pull quote for the Instagram at RWP Bad
Take
Book
it away,
Club.
Ben. Take it away.
Unable to resist her, he buried his face between her shoulder blades and laughed at the silken flesh that taunted him most of the night. So that might be confirmation that she was...
She's face down.
She has to be face down.
Which doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
know how that's
not-
comfortable. First of all, they're in a tub, not comfortable to sleep in. I've never slept in a tub.
Also,
My guess is it's
if
not.
you have a grown man sitting on you for 6 hours.
Rock hard as well. Whispering
hard.
into your ear.
Yeah. And also, if you grabbed someone between the shoulder blades,
Yeah.
imagine this: you're getting a
Sure.
massage, right?
I'm picturing it.
You're
Yeah.
you're in massage envy.
Yeah,
It's
we know I hate
quiet,
massages.
the oils. Yeah.
Yeah.
They grab you by the shoulder blades,
blades.
and then they lean in and just start licking
They
the
lick it.
middle of
That's
your
what it is.
back.
Lap.
And it says
Lapping, yeah.
lapping is what dogs do
That's what
to
dogs do to
water.
Yeah, yeah.
How f***ed up is that?
In between your shoulder blades too. Not
It's
really
weird. It'd be
not
like
a sensitive
gross.
zone.
That's wet there. All right, cool.
I like how she responds. What are you doing? She asks.
That's a valid question,
He
Faith.
says, you smell good. I wanted to taste. She's asking him about how long he's been there. He mentions that her fever
Spiked
Yeah.
and broke within the span of 6 hours. So he has been lying on top of her. He took off her pants. He has an erection, and he's licking the
Yeah.
middle of her back.
In any other scenario, this would be cause for alarm. And for anyone else in this scenario, she ends up wiggling her body free.
Threw her arms.
yeah.
And he let her go. I'm trying to just
And then he starts talking about how he's been attracted to this woman since the first time they'd met.
And they mentioned that they've only met like 3 times.
Yeah,
Rogue just moved to that, or Rebel just moved
Whoa,
to like
whoa,
that.
don't throw out Rogue's name.
Sorry.
That's a
like just moved to that town like a couple months ago.
all of this is in the span of a couple months. So this
It's
is
gotta
like-
be.
this
There's no other way.
This is only like the second time she's visited, but apparently he's always been attracted to her. Her humanity didn't bother him. Her need for a simple, safe life did. He thrived on the unknown and relished a hunt that involved danger. So again, she's just a normal. Remember we learned she wants just a coffee shop and
Yeah.
to be in her apartment all day.
Yep, that's all she wants.
But since she'd been bitten, it seemed fate had stepped in and made an offer he couldn't refuse. If he didn't claim her, someone else in the pack would, and that didn't settle well with him at all. That. So
Okay, so
he needs to make
she's
her
now
his,
an object,
his property.
right? Now that she's bitten, now all the wolves are gonna have sex with her.
Yeah, that's
That's how
problem.
that works.
That's
Apparently,
kind of how the attitude works.
law of nature, dude. Laws of nature.
She looks at her wrist and she asks if it's okay. He says yes and no, and then here's a
What is he, a doctor?
yeah. Well, remember
Never
last night.
she like passed
remember
out
last night you talked about this
of the enzymes.
the enzymes, the enzyme transfer.
The wolf DNA has bonded to your multicellular.
So here's a great
cells.
paragraph. She placed her unmarked hand on her hip and cocked her eyebrows at him. A
saucy smirk
from a sweet woman. That made for a heady mix. And unlike her sister, she didn't seem to have that wild screw the establishment.
and I hate the world streak.
Thank goodness. He liked Rebel just fine, and she was one hell of a popular stripper in their club, but she was handful in the wrong ways. Again, Rebel has only been around for a couple months. She's apparently
He staked his life on this.
the most popular stripper at the Devil's Point Strip Club,
Yeah.
apparently. Whatever
Apparently
that was
is
called.
sort of the motherly one because Faith
Yes.
was like, and
Yep.
she kept us together.
And then here's where
I'm beginning to think Faith is the actual issue in this family dynamic.
Faith is kind of a drag. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
she wants to stay in her apartment. Her sister's having a great time.
She calls her sister 24/7, and if her sister doesn't pick up,
Yeah, it's
She
a problem.
drives
she
across
drives across the
town.
bridge, hitting whatever she finds on her path. She doesn't care. She's driving like
that's
Mad
a
Max.
lot of mileage
Fury
on the
Road.
Mini Cooper.
That's
all right?
a lot of mileage. So here's where
She
a
should
plot
at least,
hole.
honestly. She should at least.
Oh, you're right. Here's where a plot hole starts to develop, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll tease it now. So in this section of the book, she asks, "Where's Rebel?" He says she's not here. She went out hunting with the rest of the pack, and he explains Dante and the rest of the pack are out looking for the wolf that bit you. Basically, he lets her know she's
Also,
with the pack.
this is the first time hunting, and her voice rose several octaves.
Oh, yeah, that's a
hurting
good one.
his ears.
Oh yeah, apparently she's got not a pleasing voice.
Well, not even that. His wolf hearing
Mm-hmm.
is sensitive, right? He works in a strip
club.
club
Lot
with
of
loud
zoom, zoom,
music
zoom.
and
Yeah.
like noises.
Yeah,
but,
drunk people.
But if Faith talks too loud, he's like, "Oh God, man."
Yeah, he covered his head with a pillow to muffle the sound. Sometimes you're talking to your wife, she talks in
Oh,
such a
God,
hard
babe,
tone
you
that you
gotta
take a
calm
pillow and put it around your head. So he lets her know that Dante and the rest of the wolves and her sister Rebel are hunting down this other rogue wolf.
Is Rebel a werewolf in this situation? We don't know.
That's what we're trying to figure
Is Rebel
out.
just like, hey, you're all wolves now? That's cool. Can we go kill this other wolf?
And
Either way, they're committing murder, right?
well, yes, exactly. And
That's just it. Like,
Rebel's involvement here, there's going to just remember this paragraph because we're going to talk about this in a little bit because there's a moment in, I think, the next chapter where none of this the plot hole is
Yes,
there.
it
So
widens,
just remember that he's talking about Faith or Rebel hunting for the wild animals. Faith is pissed. She's saying, like, I can't believe you're letting your sister, like, go hunt for a wild animal. And he says, she's with the pack. They're not going to let anything happen to her. Besides, do you know your sister? The minute the pack showed up here, she was going, and nothing short of tying her down and locking her up was going to keep her off the hunt. So, according to this, and just remember this, according to this, Rebel is, for some reason, all about the pack right now.
Well,
Now-
she's all about killing this wolf that bit
And let's
Faith. And 6 hours ago,
She was
Rebel could not put two sentences together.
she was drunk
'cause
on
she
her
was
ass.
Up.
She was f***ed up because of being told about the wolf stuff.
And
so,
how she didn't accept it. Yeah.
exactly. So
She had an epiphany. Maybe she got bit too. She woke up and the wolf enzymes had
I
taken
guess
over
so.
her body.
Those darn enzymes. So he just talks about his
Why do you keep
pack.
saying pack? She's like,
Yeah.
your friends? Like, he literally was like,
His wolf
I'm
pack.
a werewolf.
You know, like
I'm
it's,
a wolf. Yeah.
like it's your friend group, your posse. So he talks about my friends. They're all
My pack is everyone. My
Yeah.
friends, my family, everyone who lives in Devil's Point who is like me. He said all the words.
yeah.
What the Eliza? He
said
said all the words.
You know those sentences that he spoke? It all had words in it. Every that sentence it
Yep.
had words.
He
had all
he
the
said
words.
all the words. He said all of them.
So he talks about like, do you remember last night about your wolf bite? He
How
wasn't
we, like,
an ordinary
how I
wolf.
took off your pants and
Yeah, don't forget about that part. Faith is kind of fighting back a little bit. The science in her is coming back. She's saying, Damien, I was feeling pretty good about being here. Don't ruin
What?
it with this
No, she
nonsense.
wasn't. She
Meanwhile,
was
the whole
not-
time she wanted to leave.
She got bit. She's supposed to be in a hospital right now.
He talks about.
I'm assuming her arm is still just
yeah.
giant gaping wound.
It's got gangrene
right?
at this
It's
point.
got to.
So he says that the sadness and exasperation in her voice toward his heart.
She didn't believe that he was a wolf.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Shocker.
Wow, I don't know how he didn't see this coming.
So she's he mentions about Rebel and such, and basically she's still standing there staring down at the ground. She's got this scent of sadness about her right now.
Okay, so he can smell sadness. He can smell
Smell
arousal.
fear,
He
arousal,
can smell fear.
And
No one is safe.
And then he poses the question, like, do you trust me that I am not going to hurt you? I tell you this thing about being a wolf and all this weird. Do you trust me that I will never hurt you? And she says,
Did you highlight this? Because
yes,
I did.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
She says, that's a really weird question right now.
I barely know you. She was feeling great about this, but
She was fine about
apparently
it.
that was like the most realistic thing you could possibly say. This man who has
It's the
been
one piece of logic in this book.
he's
at this
been
point.
harassing you all night.
Yes.
You wake up face down in a tub
Mm-hmm.
without pants with him with an erection on top of you.
Yes.
And then you go, I barely know you.
I barely know you. He responds, I think you know me better than you think. Rebel knows me.
This guy's
No
a
one in my
stalker.
family would ever allow you or her to be hurt. I need you to believe that. Again, keep in mind, Rebel has only been on this island for a few months.
Yes.
He
Tears shimmered in
Yes.
her. After he says that, look above. Okay, readers who are following along,
Yes.
look at the sentence above. That's a weird question. I barely know you. He says one fing sentence. Sorry, two fing sentences. And then tears shimmered in her eyes, looking at him. I think I do. I can't really explain, but I think I do. So she went from not even
like,
believing
yeah.
it to I don't know you to he says, no, trust me, we'll take care of you. You're so right, Damien.
And then here's his reflection here. He yearned to pull her close, envelop her in his embrace, and press her luscious, curvy body into his hard frame. Keep in mind this.
Into his hard drive.
He still probably has erection, but they were
As far as we're concerned, he has not stopped having an erection for the last
those
2 days.
Enzyte commercials. But they were finally getting somewhere, so he needed to stop thinking about peeling her t-shirt off and laying her back down in his bed so he could devour her slowly.
Is he gonna eat her?
That's a hell of a sentence there.
Yeah.
I almost use that as the pull quote.
I also love how he's just like, it's like the perfect example of like, it's like guys are so douchey. They only want one thing, and like they're trying to have an emotional conversation. He's
yeah.
like, God, I just want to.
Yeah.
I just want to
The
rip
whole-
off her clothes.
she's like, I think
babe,
he's-
babe, I'll never hurt you. Don't even worry.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
Just
And he's
babe,
like,
babe,
the
I
whole
won't
time
hurt
he's
you.
just
Yeah.
undressing her with his
Yeah.
wolf eyes.
Imagine what it'd be like to just have that person staring at you.
The whole time, wanting to peel off her clothes and probably her skin as well. And then he goes all Captain Phillips here because he goes,
Look at me.
Look at me,
Look
Faith."
at me, Faith. Look at me.
She says, I
I
am.
am the wolf now.
She says, I am. And he goes ahead and cups her chin. And he says, and again, he goes,
Grabs her face.
look at me.
Look at me.
And then,
I am the wolf now.
And then she looks at her, and here's what you had teased last episode.
God.
He pulled on the strength of the inner wolf just enough to make his eyes.
This does mean.
So the man, nothing too extreme. While his vision sharpened, she only sees the subtle color changes from green to gold.
That's not subtle.
Green to gold's a big difference.
Making somebody's
Gold
think about
eyes?
that sentence. I didn't want to freak her out, so I made my eyes transform. I would rather
Yeah.
you turn into a full fucking wolf.
That makes more sense to me.
Than do a partial transformation. Also, like, check it out. You got
Is
gold
that-
eyes?
Oh,
yeah, they're part
the
of,
eyes thing. I didn't
they're
even
part-
notice that.
They're part of my wolf.
That
Okay, cool.
you forget about the eye part of the transformation. I mean,
Faith, I can see so good
the
right
fur,
now.
the legs, you get all that, but the eyes are really what makes a man a wolf. I mean, that's the thing you forget.
Yeah, I guess.
Now-
Nothing too extreme. That's pretty
Yeah.
f***ing extreme.
It's pretty
The
extreme.
entire premise of changing into a wolf is extreme.
He just turns away and puts in colored contacts, basically. Now she responds saying, "Your eyes, they're beautiful."
Beautiful. She sounded surprised,
here we
but not
go.
scared. And then,
Oh,
yeah.
here we go. Read. Go ahead. I'll let you
Okay.
read. You have the floor here for this next sentence.
And so far, there was no scent of fear. Cool. That's good. Well, at least we know Faith is a crazy
Yeah.
person. Instead, the way she studied him made him want to lean forward and capture her lips. In what? A net?
Remember his
Oh,
sucky,
yeah.
his plunger kiss?
His pleasure kiss. Maybe pull her soft,
Here we go.
gently rounded belly.
Why do they keep talking about her curves and her belly? Because, like, is Faith, I mean, like, is she fat? Like, is she fat? If she is, and they mention her being plump at some point, and it's like, all right,
And- but like
that's
luscious,
fine.
but curvy in all the right ways.
Sure, but
is the
gently
belly
rounded
supposed to-
belly is my belly. Like, I have a gently rounded belly.
I keep thinking of just like a gently rounded belly is like when you pose
With child, right?
It's like when you pose with the initial baby bump.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
Maybe pull her soft, gently
Here
rounded
we go.
belly against his aching cock.
There we go.
0 to 100.
Eliza. Eliza does it again. This is a couple times in this book
Also,
where she's done
okay,
these sort
so
of sentences.
So that means that her belly
Yeah,
has to be at his groin level.
because she
Think about this.
yeah.
Think about this. Pull her gently rounded belly
Uh-huh.
to his groin.
So she taller than him?
No.
No, it's the other way around.
He's a fucking giant.
He would be, he'd be a giant in that
An
scenario.
absolute giant. Like
Yeah.
he's got to have at least a foot on her.
You know that sexuality of putting a belly on a it's just
What a weird sentence.
I don't know.
Is that arousing to anyone? Like,
oh man, get that fat belly over here.
give me a belly job.
So he lets, he says, they're the eyes of my wolf, like the one who bit you. I too can change. Part human, part wolf. My choice. Remember, this is
choice.
something that he's already told. I like how this is like, he's
You
very
don't-
pro-choice. He's
I think
pro-wolf
there's
choice.
I think there's a lot of parallels you can draw against
Yeah.
LGBTQ stuff, right?
Sure.
It is.
I would
It
assume
is
so.
literally. And I'm
Like-
just kidding. No, there's no
Oh,
parallels.
okay. I was about
Are
to
you
say,
kidding me?
like, if you want to get real, yeah, there might be. I don't know.
He
But
literally.
he's a wolf.
He's
so.
like he says, part human, part wolf. My choice. Now
right.
let's dissect that. What
Oh,
does
yeah,
that
true.
mean?
I assume that
So
means
he is part human,
Yes.
and he is part wolf,
So I guess he has.
and that is his choice. So can he
Uh-huh.
be one or the other? Who, if you're born like half,
like
then
cat
you-
dog.
if you were born,
Remember cat dog?
yeah,
Yeah.
half cat, half
cat
dog.
Their choice.
That was their choice.
their
It
choice.
wasn't their parents who
No.
got weird.
Don't even get
right?
into that. Yeah.
So what
You
does
had
that
dogs
mean?
and cats at your house. I
What
mean,
does
I'm
that
sure
mean?
there's funny business.
And he's just like, yeah, I made the choice to be a wolf or a human.
Right now,
or
I'm a
half-
human, but you never know. My mind may change. I might choose something later. It all depends on the lights in the room. She responds with kind of all of our questions here. It's not possible. That's made up fantasy. She says to him. He goes, "No, baby,
Wait,
it's not." He says, "They're the eyes of my wolf,
Oh.
like the one." Yeah.
Before that,
Sure.
there's just a real quick sentence
Sure.
that said she stood transfixed.
Yes.
staring into his eyes, both seeing and not seeing at the same time.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, we don't need to dig
That's
into that any
deep.
further. That's beyond our reach.
That's Eliza Gale. When
You know when
Eliza
you
Gale
look
wrote
at
that
something
sentence, she
and
was
you-
like, "Oh
you
yeah."
see it, but you don't see it.
That's
know?
the thing, though. Eliza Gale was adding that extra layer.
So she's like seeing Damien, but she's not seeing the wolf. But they're the same thing, you know.
Exactly,
So she's
exactly.
looking at what is supposed to be the half wolf erection man, and she's
Half-wolf.
only seeing the
He's got
erection
that tiny
man.
waist and giant thighs. She says it's not possible. It's made up fantasy. He goes, "No, baby, it's not. If you need me to, I can show you."
Then why didn't he do that from the beginning
You know,
instead
a
of being
great
like,
way-
"You want to see my eyes freak the
Way
out?"
to prove you're a wolf is to turn into a wolf. That's probably where I would
Yes,
start.
because if he had just done that, there would be no follow up. Faith would be like, "Oh, I guess so." Instead of being like, "Check out my gold eyes."
He says, "If you need me to, I can show you, but I really don't want to scare you. You've been through enough in one day." Now, get me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, but didn't they just wake up? Isn't this, in theory, are we
What
in
is their
morning
day?
time?
Has it been? I think all of this has happened. This emotional, deep relationship. All of this has happened
Yeah.
in. I'll just say about 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
There is a 24-hour period where she got in her Mini Cooper.
A little bit of napping, too.
A little bit of napping. She got her Mini Cooper. She bled out. She got to a bar. Her sister's drunk. Damien's a wolf. She threw up. She got harassed, and now she's still has no pants on.
No pants.
They're standing, staring at each other, having this conversation.
And his eyes just changed.
And why
you
he
know.
freaked his eyes out. Like, it looked like his eyes were just doing crazy
And the
stuff.
last couple sentences here of this chapter. And it was mating season. His wolf wanted her as bad as the rest of him. And this time of year,
Is
the
that
wolf had a
bestiality?
way of
Let's just-
getting
can we just
exactly
clear
what
that
he
out of the
wanted.
way?
That's a big thing.
Because half wolf, half man, it seems like he's doing...
You're banging a wolf in that
He's
situation.
doing the sexy stuff
Yeah.
as a guy, but he's also a wolf, but the wolf wants her. So, like,
I think it's up for debate. That ends chapter
Chicken
6.
egg, you know?
Also, I didn't like the sentence, and this time of year, the wolf had a way of getting exactly what he wanted. A little rapey.
rape.
Little
By
rapey.
rape. Let's just say it.
Chapter 7, people. Now, here's the thing. A little disclaimer. Chapter 7 is one of the dirtiest chapters of the entire book, so prepare yourself accordingly. Faith didn't know what to do, basically. She says she has no secret beliefs in otherworldly beings or supernatural anything, but here she stood, staring at the compelling yellow glow of his eyes while he told her
So
he
they're
was a
still
werewolf.
yellow.
Still yellow. And I like how that's the compelling. Like, that's the evidence. She goes, well, his eyes are yellow, so I guess I believe you.
It's got to be it.
I mean, he was able to change his eye color. That's
Also-
a big sign.
Are wolves' eyes actually yellow?
I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
thought they'd be like red or something, but I don't know.
Okay, well, first of all, that's
Maybe
insane.
demon wolves. I don't know.
That's insane.
You've stumbled into wolf country during mating season, I'm afraid.
That is my new tagline.
Wolf country.
You've stumbled into wolf country.
That's a good sign of like danger / sexual arousal. It's like,
Well, the during
it's,
mating season part you didn't
yeah.
need. If he was just like, you stumbled into wolf country, I'd be like, you know what? That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. I
Yeah.
like that. During mating season.
Now,
Okay, that's like saying
Yeah.
you walked into your parents' room while they're having sex.
there's an orgy going on,
Yeah.
and you walked through the front door. That's exactly what happened. He's basically saying the wolf that bit you is not part of my pack. He's rogue, but the desire to mate and reproduce is almost impossible to control.
A lot
A
of
little
rapists
rapey.
would probably argue that in prison.
Yeah, this is about sex then, she says. He closed his eyes and shook his head, a low growl sounding from deep within his chest. Most of us do spend the season searching and having sex. Yeah,
He doesn't
He's like,
even
I'm just gonna be honest.
sugarcoat it. Like,
I'm
yeah,
honest.
no, we bang a lot.
that's
like
pretty much
all the time.
our main mission.
yeah,
That's pretty much our
I
main.
mean, once September starts, it's just a blur.
The odds of finding the right person to mate with are slim, so we relieve some of the tension
What does that
other ways.
mean?
What's he talking about?
What do you mean? If they're finding mates and they're having sex wildly, what does mating mean? Is that marriage?
I don't know.
Because they seem to like call it the
But
same
what
thing.
are the other ways they're relieving the tension? Is he talking about like
Murdering.
Yeah, I guess. Because, like, he works at a strip... I don't know.
Probably just banging random human chicks.
That's true.
But
But he said...
think about this. If you bite somebody,
Mm-hmm.
the wolf enzymes,
Right.
what does sex entail? I feel like that would be like way more
I don't know. I think we might find out in a little
you're
bit later in this
probably
chapter.
right. Maybe.
The actual mating is far more than sex. It's a connection, a bond between mates.
So now he is like, listen, baby,
He's
baby,
pitching the marriage side
I just
of it.
want you to send me naked photos because we're close. I
That's
need
true.
to see you naked because we're friends now.
I like how this is just. It would be great.
What
if
a
this,
creep.
It would be great if he wasn't actually part wolf, and this whole plot was just a scheme for him to get in her pants. Like this whole explanation, he just
guarantee
makes
you-
up everything.
Men are dogs. This is
Yeah.
probably not
It's
the
an
first
elaborate-
time.
Like he's got his
Yeah.
twin brothers working as part of it, his triplets or whatever.
That's
He's
the thing.
got
It's
his
like
sister involved.
this is equivalent of him. He put in like 24 hours of work into this relationship, and now he's like, listen, sex is part of it. You got to be cool with this.
So her brain starts to hurt from all this information he's telling her about it's being more than marriage. There's a rare connection.
It's more than marriage.
Yeah, apparently it's
mating
more than
is
marriage.
more than marriage.
Well, then, yeah, because of the biting part, I guess. All this information was sending her into overload. I need to sit down. She stumbles to the bed. So now they're back out of the bathroom, I guess, in the tub, and now they're in the bedroom.
I'm just convinced that they teleport.
She asks, "Am I going to become a werewolf because of this?"
Yeah, she
Good
caught
question.
sight of her
Faith,
bandaged
that's a
wrist.
great question.
How do you catch sight of it? You know your wrist has been
It's still
mauled
red.
by a wolf, and you're like, is this my werewolf bite?
And I like how when she asks this, he responds, Salty Dalton. Go ahead and give his response.
It's a definite possibility.
It's a definite possibility.
You got pretty ill and your fever spiked, so you're definitely affected.
So the answer is yes. The answer to the question is yes. That she asked, "Am I going to become a werewolf?" You can't say it's a definite possibility. It's yes. I'm hoping.
Is there like a chance it doesn't take?
Yeah.
Like, well, let's review the
yeah.
facts. I mean,
well,
yeah.
the wolf did bite your fat belly, so I don't know if it made it all the way through those enzymes. You never know.
And he's just like, well, you did bleed a lot.
Yeah.
You started having a fever. You
Sure.
sat up.
All the signs are there.
Your projectile vomited all over the
Yeah.
wall.
This is true.
I mean, this is all pretty normal tracking with wolf bites, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of following that track. He's
That's like
saying,
having
basically.
unprotected sex and being like, am I pregnant? It's like, well,
Well,
Probably.
probably. It's a good chance. I'm hoping since you woke up feeling better that it can't go south from here.
so have people died from this?
I think they'd have to.
There has to be.
has to be some
He's
dead-
like, oh, thank
yeah.
God your fever broke, because honestly, I'm running out of places to stash the bodies.
Because he says in some cases it only takes a bite, and in others it takes a bond to form between shifter and human first.
Let me just go ahead and predict the ending of this.
Yeah.
She can only become a werewolf
If
if,
she has
they
sex.
fall in love and
Yeah.
they have sex.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
probably what he just said.
He's saying,
I bet you she's going to turn regardless, and he's just like, no, listen,
no,
we
no,
need to have
yeah.
sex.
No. This is part of it. You gotta. She's like, but I'm not attracted to you. He's like, nah, yeah, but you know.
You got to do this if you want to join the pack.
She says, I think I'm understanding it. I just don't know what to make of it.
What else is there to understand?
Yeah, it's pretty
he
simple.
He literally has been saying from the start, I want to do you.
Yeah, it's been plain and clear. She says, "Are you saying the wolf who bit me was planning to mate me?" And this gets Damien a little pissed.
Wait. Never mind.
The
You-
dark look that crossed Damien's face startled her. The sense of danger she felt
ever
before
Can
turned.
mention that again.
It won't matter after I rip his throat out for hurting you, and he's damn lucky he didn't die last night, or I would do worse than put him out of
So,
his misery.
there's
What's worse than
definitely-
ripping out his throat?
But there's definitely precedent where people have died.
Murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, if you had died from the fever and stuff, because that's apparently what happens when wolves bite humans.
Yeah, but he says it won't
I would
matter
do
after I
worse,
rip his
yeah.
throat out, and then he would do worse. What's worse than that?
I don't know. You've pretty much covered all the bases.
A wolf ripping your throat out? Think about ripping a throat out. That's horrendous.
It's difficult. It's difficult to do, and it's probably painful.
She asked, I could have died from just a bite? He said,
That's a great question.
great question. That's the point of the bond. It makes you more compatible. With
So yes, his answer is yes.
Yes.
You could have died from this bite.
He's very dancing around a lot of these questions
He
she's
would.
asking.
He would make a great politician.
She says, I think I need to go home now and take some time to think about all this, and I don't feel very safe on this island at the moment.
So
I like how
she-
now it's finally
She's
kicking in.
flip-flopping though.
Yeah.
She's like, I knew I was always meant to be with you. You what? I could have what? I could have died?
Awful choice of words here. She turned away and started planning her escape. Escape makes it. First, she had to go find her clothes and shoes. She says, I need to take Rebel with me. He says, I doubt she'll go. She's made a home here. She's connected. In that 2 months.
She was ready to leave when she found out y'all were wolves.
She says, I hardly consider a long-term room in a shabby motel a home.
Where's Mavis and Bud?
Where's Mavis and Bud? That's a great question. Hashtag where's Mavis and Budge? She says, wait, are you telling me that she knows about this werewolf shapeshifter thing? Well, yes. Didn't he not tell you earlier that she is out with the pack hunting down the wolf?
And she was drunk because she found out.
Well, and here's where the plot hole comes in. So he nods when she says that. She accidentally saw Dante change behind the club a few nights ago. So let's keep in mind this. Her sister Rebel has only learned about the wolf stuff 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago she found out. And
She
from
got
there,
so plastered because
Yes.
she didn't accept it.
and probably why she was at the bottom of a bottle yesterday. Every human who learns our secret has to deal with it in their own way. So here we go. So apparently, according to him, Rebel right now is chasing down the wild packs. They're doing all that stuff. She's okay with things now. While last night she was at the bottom of the bottle because she only just discovered the werewolf thing 2 days ago. How does any of that make sense?
It doesn't.
How
That's
did she
it.
wake up this morning, hung over, and go, you know what? The wolf thing, it's cool with me now.
Let's
go
go-
hunt this.
Let's get
Let's
this
rip
guy.
his throat out. I'm up for some throat ripping, if you guys don't mind. That doesn't make sense.
Every human who learns their secret deals with it in their own way. This isn't
Yeah.
like... It's not like when someone dies and you have to find a coping mechanism. I'm not just going to pick up like a brand new hobby because I saw a wolf
Yeah.
change. I would be like,
Yeah.
I'm calling the cops.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm maybe I should leave this freaking island if
if
there are wolves
anything,
on the
I would
side.
be like, I should stop drinking.
Yeah, that's
that shit
I
is
feel like that's the
bonkers.
last thing I would do at that point. So she says, all the more reason to take my sister with me. I couldn't stand the thought of her stripping in your club in the first place. Why would a werewolf own a place like this anyways? Wouldn't you prefer a job in nature or something? Don't you need to be outside?
What? Hey, get in the doghouse, bitch.
Faith,
Wouldn't you rather be a park ranger, or do you have a doghouse? How do you live?
as a wolf, shouldn't you be outdoors, running around, or maybe
Chasing
being part of a
sticks?
bobsled team or something, or the God, what am I trying to say? The wolves and the bobsleds and stuff, where they go in Alaska and they go across the races.
Iditarod.
Iditarod.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
yeah.
Fucking bobsled.
You're right.
Ben.
Bobsled's the one with
That's the
2 people.
One for the money.
Yeah,
two
Jamaican
for the-
bobsled team.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, then what's that called?
That's called sled dogs.
Okay, it's not called sled dogs. What's
The
the event
Iditarod.
called? Okay, yes, that's the official name of that specific event.
With dog sleds. It's called dog sleds.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
all I'm
the
looking for.
Iditarod.
Help me out a little bit. That's all
The
I'm looking for.
bobsled team. Yeah. Why don't you and the other wolves join a bobsled team?
They got the little helmets on.
Go take gold in the Winter Olympics with your tight bodies and your wolf eyes.
He says, great, now we get to start with the cliches. Faith, you're adorable.
Wait, what are the cliches?
We got to
She
be
said
outside.
2 things: outside and a job in nature.
Yeah.
Is that a cliche for a wolf? Hey, wolf, get a fucking job in
You know,
nature.
you half men, half wolves. We got a lot of cliches for you. Faith, you're adorable, but you got a long way to go before you really understand what we are. Well, considering she just learned what you are, I would assume that it may take her a little bit of time to understand.
Also, not hard to understand what they are. It's a wolf.
It's a
and
wolf
a
and a
man.
man. It's pretty simple, too. We're just as much human as we are wolf, maybe even a little more. So the
little more
breakdown
what?
is 60-40? Is it 70-30?
Just enough to make my eyes change.
So we have hopes and dreams that extend beyond running through the woods all day and hunting prey. Like running strip clubs. We have dreams beyond just running around.
Baby. Entrepreneur.
But my point is, we live semi-normal lives, and we strive to fit in as much as possible. In order to do that, we have to make money to buy land, homes, clothing, and more. Just like everyone else, we even go to school.
Wolf school.
All right, welcome to Wolf School. Let's see. No, Damien, Damien, put your pants back on.
Damien, come on, stop having an erection, Damien.
Dante, come on, man. Are you turning into a wolf right now, Dante? Come on.
Diego, see me after class.
Diego's always a troublemaker. God. That's not what I meant. I just thought with a special power, everything might be different somehow. So your big dream was to own a strip club and peddle naked women to desperate men? Fair question, Faith.
He's not selling the women.
She's savage. Also, yeah. When did the strip club become a brothel? Like a whorehouse. I don't understand. Every time that she talks about
She keeps
the strip
adding
club.
descripting factors. In fact, I'm convinced Eliza Gale has never been to a
No,
strip club.
100%.
When I read her stuff,
100%.
it's literally like someone imagining what
Yeah.
it is.
Exactly. Club.
I don't think she's ever been to the Pacific Northwest.
She didn't do the research. No, remember she lives on a little island in the Pacific
okay.
Northwest.
Yeah, I f***ing doubt that. What are you, Nicholas
Yeah,
Sparks?
what island are you
who
living
lives
on?
in
Yeah.
all his movies and books are based in South Carolina or whatever.
to be, because they want to be, not because they were coerced. I'm a little disappointed you feel the need to judge us like that. Ooh, so Damien's firing back a little bit. Damn it, he was right, of course. Okay, she immediately backs down.
Yep.
Her life experiences didn't exactly include the best judgment calls. Now, here's a little exposition, Salty
I love
Dog.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Her freshman year of college had gone pretty wrong, starting with losing her virginity to a douchebag, and then following it up with a string of jerks who she thought would keep her safe while getting into her pants. It had taken getting accidentally drugged at a frat party to wake her up to reality.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. I mean, great.
That would keep her safe. This is not warring tribe eras.
I like how Liza Gale thought that this paragraph was needed. That we need to know.
This paragraph only made things worse.
Yeah, it doesn't really help us at all.
I've historically always chose the wrong guy, and I keep having sex with these jerks.
Yeah.
Is Damien different?
Damien must be different because he's half wolf, and wolves are supposed to be
He's a
kind.
goddamn wolf.
I'm sorry, she said. I'm biased. It's not easy to accept my twin actually wants this life. What indication do we have that the twin wants this life?
We know nothing about Rebel. We know, literally, that was the most exposition we've got since the very first page, where they said, where Eliza was like, the Pacific Northwest has a lot going for it. Trees and mountains. And
yes,
she's from
and air.
And
don't forget there's air.
She's in college. She just lost her virginity, I would say, freshman year. She's got to be a senior because she's still attending college.
Yes.
So 3 years ago. And she's had sex with like maybe 4 people.
Yes.
So that's all we know about her. And she has a Mini Cooper. And we know, the only thing we know about Rebel is she was actually the person who kept the family together.
Uh-huh.
And she's a stripper.
And she's a stripper. And a
now-
good one. And loves to dance. She went into it for
It
the
took
dancing.
getting accidentally drugged to wake up, like, to her reality. What reality? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I told you I got roofied before, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was in college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to expand on that. That you could probably hear that story on the Random Word podcast. I'm sure you've told it. I'm sorry, I'm biased. It's not easy to accept my twin actually wants this life. I can't wrap my head around her taking her clothes off every night for any dude with cash in his hand.
Again, they don't take off everything.
No, that's all part of it. Is the incentive, you know?
Some women do it for empowerment, and a lot of
Yeah.
people make a living off of it. I'm sorry. Maybe you don't like your job, but don't bash a stripper.
And that's what he says. He says it pays really well. A lot of women like that. They usually save it up quick and then move on. Damien tells her. He's like, yeah, I mean,
They don't have a 10-year career stripper pin they hand out.
Rebel doesn't need money. Our parents left us with a life insurance policy
This
that
one-
she refuses to touch.
So the one that barely paid for her
For the
Mini Cooper.
It didn't even cover the full Mini Cooper, right?
Unless she paid for her entire college with it, there's no way of knowing what that life insurance
And
policy was.
especially
We could value it at exactly, when did this book get published?
2013.
I'm going to look up Mini Cooper 2013 price.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, it's like $12,000.
So $12,000. But in theory, and I'm pretty sure she had mentioned it, that the inheritance didn't even cover the car. I think it only paid partially for the car.
So unless she spent that money on school,
Yeah,
if she paid for all 4 years up front,
sure.
cool. But she's like, I scrimped and saved.
Yeah, it didn't sound like it would have covered all of school either. So
But apparently it's enough money
for
where Rebel would never
doesn't
have
need
to
a
work
job.
again.
Never again.
Maybe they liked Rebel more. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. She asks about what other purpose does Club Diablo serve. He says, well, humans have hang-ups about sex that wolves don't.
Like,
like
that's-
humans.
all that says is wolves are into
Yeah.
weird stuff.
We own most of the island except some anchorage owned by the state where the park is. So apparently the wolves own like everything on the island.
Yeah,
apparently
it's like a
they're
monopoly.
running everything.
Yeah.
That draws tourists, which is okay as long as they don't stay too long. So an island known for its dirty sex club is a deterrent for humans to settle here. Some still come and go, but for the most part, our island consists of pack.
So literally 90% of the island is. What about the people who
Owned by
don't
them.
know that the
What
rest
about like
of wolves?
the post office
They're-
people?
They're having sex with these
Yeah.
wolves. I'll tell you, because if they've stayed through mating seasons,
Yeah.
apparently they just hump anything that moves.
The women come in and they don't leave. That's the thing. They come in across the bridge.
They get bit, they die.
And there's just hair everywhere. I mean, the shedding is unbelievable. So they turn. Diego's idea was to turn our place into a male strip show on special occasions. We use it during mating season to find more women in the hopes of finding a mate. So they're reeling these women in to try to find mates. She says, because that's not sketchy at all. Great response.
Faith goes from like being.
I'm actually kind of liking Faith right now until what's going to happen in a moment.
Faith goes from being like very reasonable to the dumbest person I've ever read about.
Yes. It's a hell of a lot safer for us to be on home ground during the season. The
What?
last thing
Home
we need.
field advantage?
Yeah, during the season, it's just it's
off seasons where we travel.
It's 16-week season.
Yeah.
The last thing we need is a horny, needy where? Is that what that is? 'Cause
where
he put where.
that
yeah.
says where.
Yeah.
It says we're roaming, but aware. So that
Yeah.
that might be their.
Is that like
I
short
thought they were
for
wolves.
werewolf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they're werewolves, don't they need a full moon to transform? But he was like, check
Also,
out my eyes.
I thought he was like either a wolf or a man when he transforms. I didn't get the sense that it was like werewolf because he's just a human right now.
Yeah, so a bunch of wares roaming, horny, needy wares roaming city streets.
Looking for women out of his control without his pack to back him up. That's how rogues happen, and pretty girls get bitten on the side of the road.
Or dead. That's what he's basically saying is like, yeah, we've had a lot of disappearances because one guy gets too horny and murders a girl. That is the translation that you're reading.
So he says it's safer.
And all she says is,
touche.
touche.
She's like, yeah, this is all making
yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. It tracks.
He says, you learn it's safer when we stick to our pack, similar to the way you need your twin. You and your twin's relationship, similar to this werewolf pack situation.
And she's like, a shiver worked down her spine as the sensation of his touch ghosted across her skin.
Weird.
He didn't play fair at all. What does that mean?
I don't know. I still think I should go home. The smart thing to do would be to consider everything you've told me and weigh my options. She wants to get home, maybe map it out, maybe do like a pie chart or like, just like this is, comparing the options here.
For you men out there, she has mentioned going home
A lot.
3 or 4 times.
A lot.
That's probably a sign where you should let her
go home. Your option is to stay here. Become part of the Devil's Point Wolves. To leave the safety of the pack makes you fair game to others. You've been marked. Now, here's the thing. In theory...
And even if you don't fully change, you won't be fully human either. So he was like, you can die from getting bit. You are probably going to be a wolf, but you might be a weird... Because I was about to say half wolf, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
But he's like, you will partially change. So she's just going to be like limping down the highway with one wolf leg and another human leg.
Because then here's the other question. If she just leaves the island, goes back to an hour outside of Seattle, is that fine? Like, who's going to go after her at that point? I don't think there's going to be wolves like chasing her through the streets of Seattle, like going to Mariners games. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But he tells her, either way, you'll be forced to choose a mate. It's in the DNA.
So now the DNA is in her. So he's just roundabout saying, like, you're basically a wolf
Like he
now.
says that you have no choice, and he goes, well, make no mistake, the choice is yours. Fate deals you a hand, and you can either embrace the gift you're given or fight your way down a different path, and most wolves will honor that. That doesn't sound like a choice at all. Yeah, that's also he immediately had told you your option is to stay here.
He says it's life, werewolf, or human. I thought you could choose, Damien.
I thought
we are not created equal. And they're assholes in every
just letting you know, hey, in the wolf groups, there's also dicks, just like there are in regular groups.
He's like, I choose to be both, but you can't choose. You're either werewolf or human.
She goes,
I'm different because I'm Damien.
She goes, I don't know what to do here, she admitted. And then here we go. We get into our Chapter 7 reading. So I've actually got it printed out here for you. It's going to be right there, Chapter 7 reading. It starts with you when you're ready.
I could offer you some incentive to stay. He smiled down at her, reminding her once again how ridiculously good-looking he was when he did that.
Oh, yeah.
When he looked down at her like a peasant, because he's like 6 feet above her, remember? Because his dick is at her like chest.
That's 6 foot, a whole lot of something.
She rubbed her hands on her plump thighs.
Plump thighs.
And started feeling a bit self-conscious. I don't know how the writer designed me.
She's like, I still don't have pants on as well.
I'm fat and skinny. I've wanted you since the first time I saw you. It didn't matter that you didn't see my type, or that I didn't think I'd ever be ready to find a mate, or that you were too young!
Oh, first mention of that. Also,
It didn't matter that you were too young. That is a absolute Faith. There should be like boing, 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 red flag, red flag.
Also, I've wanted you since the first time I saw you, but she
2
wasn't
months
his
ago.
type. And also, she wasn't his type, and he
He-
didn't think he was going to be ready to find a mate, and he thought she might have been too young. So he didn't fall in love with her the first time he saw her.
But
It-
he's wanted to have sex with her since he saw her.
Oh, yeah.
No matter who she was.
It happens.
Disgusting. You lived inside me as a living, breathing ache. What? The only thing that saved either of us was the fact you lived far enough away that I rarely saw you. It allowed me to keep on going and doing my own thing. Except during mating season.
Faith didn't know what to say. She ached right now, too.
They're aching left and
They're
right.
aching.
Take some
She
Motrin.
ached right now, her arm falling off her shoulder.
I needed a
Oh.
Tylenol, I thought.
All she could think about was his hands touching her everywhere. Or maybe his lips working their way across all of her most sensitive zones.
Like her belly.
Yeah, like the in between her shoulder blades. The fact he stood there in nothing but a pair of black pants unfastened at the waist. So he's been standing there, same black pants as earlier. Did he wear them to bed? Can he not get them off? Can he not take his pants off? That's what I'm wondering. Because he's still wearing
and
the
they're
same black
one,
pants.
so he's wearing tight black pants with a visible erection.
And they're
And with a-
unfastened. The belt's open and it's unbuckled. Unfastened at the waist made it impossible not to think about more. Well, yeah, I would think so. If his
While they were talking and doing this, he must have just literally
Had to
been
been.
taking his clothes off.
I do have a nice apartment in a secure building.
If I hear
I
about
feel
her
safe
apartment
there.
one more
She's
time-
got a great building.
Is this Fort Knox? Like, is she going back to like a key code biometric scan?
He seemingly ignored her when he spoke again. Mating. So I don't
yeah.
care. I don't care about
What would
anything
you
you're
say?
saying. Mating season drives an ordinary wolf crazy, but one that knows he has a mate out there goes a little mad. His fingers trail down the side of her neck, past her shoulders, and down the side of her torso, just grazing the outside of her breast.
She has her clothes on though, right?
Little side boob action. Little side boob. Yep.
So he just basically pet the left side.
It was
of her.
weird. Yeah.
Okay. And you think I'm your mate, she whispered. The wolf says so. And the more I get to know you, the more I'm inclined to agree. He leaned forward and pressed his lips to hers in a gentle kiss. Wow, that's the first f***ing normal kiss.
I like
they
this
both
part.
moaned simultaneously. Sorry, you didn't just rip into a Capri Sun. Like, okay, God. Everything about him turned her on. Even the dangerous wolf she didn't fully comprehend.
So everything about him turned her on. Even that like weird thing about the wolf
the whole
and like
sex stuff,
you know.
yeah.
There we go.
Even if you don't want this, you have to stop me. Being here right now hurts me. Before she formed the question, he continued, Mating season is a bitch. It makes me want to or die. It's hard to control.
Two choices. That's all I got.
That's
Fuck or
not
die.
very sexy. Sorry, babe. The wolf says you're the one, and I'm feeling it too. And the mark on your wrist makes the need to claim you even more intense.
Again,
She's literally property. He's just like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're just going to bang, and you're going to be my mate.
Also, this whole the wolf says this, the wolf wants me to do that. A little paranoid schizophrenia action there.
I don't think he's a real wolf.
Faith couldn't really argue his point. I mean, she could, but she'd felt the pull all along. She just wouldn't admit it. Whether he wanted to call it instinct or she called it lust didn't really matter. Either way, she wanted to give in to it. Take off your pants, she said. A look crossed his face and then disappeared just as fast, as did his pants. Great line there. Eliza Gale. Quickly followed by his underwear. Tall, muscular, and aroused. Holy hell. Your turn.
Just there's a naked man in front of her that's like 6'8", with giant chest, giant legs, tiny waist, and like a
He somehow got those pants off quick. I don't know
like
how
a
he did.
4-foot dong.
I don't know how he got him off.
She hesitated for a second, remembering her flaws. A little belly and a few extra pounds.
What the
is
hell?
it?
Why?
Which one is it?
Why is this being mentioned so much? I don't understand. What's the point?
Normally, even if you give like a crappy description, I can picture the person in my head.
Is this to like get the reader to like relate to Eliza? It's like we all have a few extra pounds, but it's like Eliza's in a situation with a werewolf.
If I took this to an artist and said, draw this person based on this description, it would
Pregnant
look,
woman.
It would look weird. It would be like a gelatinous blob. A little belly and a few extra pounds didn't seem so bad until you were standing in front of a perfect specimen. She took a deep breath and then lifted the shirt over her head and tossed it to the ground.
Nice.
He seemed to want her flaws and all who was
Her flaws
she.
and all.
Oh, and who was she to pass up a moment like this for any lame reason, like not wanting to be sexually assaulted?
Yeah, he's tall, muscular, and aroused. So why not? Then he, what's so funny? Nothing. Why? You're grinning. And then here we go. So with this scene, we're not going to describe it in the graphic detail. We're not going to get down to that. Some of it we are. But we'll let you read some of it. But he starts going, he goes back to the shoulders and the neck. His fingers brushing again, a little side boob action. Beautiful, he whispered, sliding his thumbs across her already tightening nipples.
So I've noticed that across these books,
Uh-huh.
they say the need inside of her. Okay, this sentence, first of all, I'm gonna read it only because it sounds disgusting, and I'm not sure what coalesced means. The need inside her coalesced, making her pliant and wet. Gross. So gross. So gross. And then so this is weird. So she's just like, you're probably saying all this stuff because he's like, while he's just like doing these things to her, he's like, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, and she's like, you probably say that to all the women you're trying to get in bed. He laughed. You're absolutely right. He's like, it's no secret I love women.
I'm a big women guy.
And then he's like, shifters are sexual creatures. Awesome.
You're the woman made for me, and you were made perfectly.
Oh wow,
Good
that
line.
was really good, Damien.
Yeah.
What is that for?
Yeah, I don't know. And then she goes down, reaches down to old wolf
into the old tool shed.
Apparently, it was a hefty beauty. She says, "I've never heard a penis described as a hefty beauty."
It's a hefty beauty.
I think that is the only time in literature anywhere that it would be described as that.
Why would you say that? It's a hefty beauty.
It's a hefty beauty. It's like a Ford Dodge Ram.
It's like judging cows at a competition.
Oh man, look at that heifer there! What a hefty,
hefty beauty right there. Right there. That's a nice one.
She takes the lead here. She goes, "You're about to get very lucky." She tells him, and he goes, "Hell yes!" And he
groaned.
Goes
and
down
said,
there.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Goes down there, grabs his butt a little bit,
and pulled them.
I didn't understand that sentence. I had to read it a couple times.
So his hands reached down and cupped her butt. And
I think he's pulling her towards him. But it was read weird, as if like he was like pushing her butt cheeks together.
The
or
sentence
something.
literally says he grabbed her butt cheeks and pushed them. It pulled, which is interesting because pulls apart.
Yeah.
But if you pull them together, as much as he could, so he's just smushing her butt together to make sure that there's no actual separation.
That's what the sentence reads like.
Yes.
I think he's talking about pushing their bodies together, but the way it's written is like that. Her Faith shivered under the onslaught. Apparently, that butt touching is really what gets her going. Yeah. Coming to this island was starting to not look so bad after all. So,
minus all the wolves and biting and
the fact that you could die. Are you going to bite me tonight? Damien pulled back, meeting her gaze. Do you want me to? You said you've wanted me since the day we first met. Is that true?
She already got bit.
I know. He nodded. More so than you can imagine.
I had dreams about you.
Yeah, he's talking about the dreams he's had
about her.
Some
were sexual, but some weren't. We went and got ice cream. It was pretty nice.
My guess was all of them were sexual.
What? And then he said, but one night. Oh, wait. Hold on.
In the dreams he's talking about.
She's saying she had these dreams.
I had dreams about you. Some were sexual, some... Oh, yeah, she did.
But
so it's her talking
Okay,
about.
so she's been... This is the first we've heard about this.
She's never mentioned any of this.
She's been dreaming about him. Some were sexual,
She not
some
only
won't.
dreamed about him, she dreamed about him biting her neck.
And saying, you belong to me.
It felt so real. I tried to call Rebel the next morning to ask about you.
But
that was
they
the
don't
first
have a good
night
relationship.
She didn't respond
yet.
to my calls. 3 nights later, I had to come for her and for
so
you.
So literally, she didn't answer the phone for 3 days.
For 3 days. And that's why she decided. And it was all because of the dream. That's why she reached out to Rebel in the first place, which thus created this whole situation. That was the first night of mating season. Things
Tell you
weren't
what,
going so well here.
If she had woken up in the beginning of the book with a sweat on her face, being like, "I dreamed about him again,"
Yeah.
would have made so much more sense.
Made more sense. The need for you was so painful, I tried to get in my car and drive to Seattle, he says.
But I couldn't because
I couldn't because you live an hour outside of Seattle, not in Seattle, so I wouldn't drive to Seattle.
and I don't know how to drive.
Also,
I'm a wolf.
Yeah, I don't know where you live. I just know it's an apartment. It's safe, of a high security system. It took Dante shifting into his wolf to subdue me. That's when Rebel came out the back door of the club and saw us. So this is huge reveals right now. That she's trying to connect everything. It's not really making sense.
She just starts dropping bombs. She goes,
Yeah.
She says that Faith has been dreaming about him,
Uh-huh.
and then
And he's
that
been dreaming of her.
Damien has wanted her before he even knew her,
Uh-huh.
and got so wild that his brother had to turn into a wolf
To stop him.
To stop him.
And that happened to be at the exact same time that Rebel was walking out of the club and saw Dante turn into a wolf, and that's what started her drinking problem, I guess. So she's trying to connect all the dots here.
Yeah. Her mind reeled from this new information. They were connected long before she got bitten by some half-assed wolf.
Yeah.
It was a real wolf.
Throwing shade at Rogue over there. So she pushes his chest as hard as she can.
She just fucking
She
shoves
him on the bed.
Fortunately, he had wolf-like reflexes.
He did. He was perfectly hard. Never heard that described as that as
You know,
well.
It's
Perfectly. It was perfectly hard.
Say this: the hefty beauty was
Happy Beauty was
perfectly hard.
and she was seriously ready.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
How about that?
He grabs her hips. I do like a wild woman who isn't afraid to take what she needs. He growled.
And she's like, "Because tonight
This
is
is
the night
an
you're
incredible
going
character
to bite me."
transformation.
She goes 0 to 100. This is still within 24 hours of them meeting.
Yeah, keep reading what she says there because this is wild. You said good because tonight's the night you're going to bite me. Read the rest of what she says.
I'm sorry, I just read ahead.
Oh no, don't read ahead yet. So continue reading the part where she says good because tonight is the night you're going to bite me.
I'm not going to pretend I need time to be sure or second guess my choice until I'm riddled with doubt. I know. I claim you as my mate. And I'm not going to read the sexual part after that.
No.
Basically, there's some...
Yeah, there's some banging
From what
going
I
on.
understand, though, the way they're describing this is like, I thought they were already having sex, and she's like preparing for takeoff.
Apparently.
And people who read the book, I think you'll understand the analogy.
Yes. The wolf is glowing in his eyes, but the rest of him was all man.
The eyes locked,
Uh-huh.
and he slowly pulled her down on him. Mm-hmm. She flung her head back and wailed.
Oh god. Okay, so they're
Damien was huge, but her body was ready.
I almost don't want you to read that.
As it stretched to accommodate
oh
him.
my God.
That's the worst thing
I
I've
can't believe that's-
I've ever heard.
I don't even know if I'll let
I've
that keep
ever
that in.
heard.
Everything inside her went haywire, so they're doing it. We won't get into too much of this.
Oh God.
Let's see. He's telling her to go a little bit faster.
Their sweat-slicking bodies.
Yeah, they're getting pretty sweaty here.
so sweaty, and none of them have showered, and she's vomited in this 24
Yeah,
hours.
this is disgusting. They're kind of going back and forth with her body convulsing.
They talk about pleasure pulses.
Damien leaned down and kissed her neck in several places before replacing his lips with the points of his teeth.
Wait.
I claim you too.
I thought you were going to read when the orgasm hit.
Oh, no, definitely
it
not
caught
that.
her by surprise.
not gonna read that.
You should know when that's coming.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
claim you too, he said on a hoarse whisper before sinking his fangs into her skin.
So he just
He bit her. Bit her, full fangs.
with his mouth locked on. Oh, ew, gross.
yeah,
No, sorry,
don't-
they
yeah.
keep having sex.
he,
Okay. Oh, her new fate found his release. That's safe to say.
So they finish up.
Gross.
She dreamed of one day finding a husband and settling down, but it was so much more. No, what are you talking about? How is this so much more?
Why is this not different?
You just
They
banged a
said
wolf
it's
man.
more than marriage.
Yep, blew my mind. He said, "When do you want to do it again?"
What
Wow.
the?
She says, "I need a minute to catch my breath."
Apparently,
this part's
okay.
wild. Okay. He hugged her closer and kissed her cheek. "We've got all the time in the world." Faith froze, her breath catching in her throat. Tears suddenly stung her eyes.
I can't.
"Baby, what's
I
wrong?"
can't.
he says. She shook her head. "My father used to say that to my mother." that they had all the time in the world.
That's-
with Breath Hitch. I'm sorry, it's
Faith-
silly.
That's some common saying.
Also, weird time to bring that up. Hey,
God, I heard the same thing. In
you know
in a
how we
TV
just had
show
this
the other day.
insane wolf sex? You actually bit me on the neck. You know what? I'm thinking about my mom and dad right now. That's what I'm
After
thinking
he
about.
said that, we have all the time in the world. That is, how many times have you heard that?
I've heard that plenty of times.
And this sends her into like I knew
A
you were
tizzy.
meant for me because my parents said that.
I love and miss my parents, but even harder is the feeling I've lost my twin. We were so close before. I've become different without her, and I don't mean in a better way. I get scared a lot, and I struggle with feeling safe. He goes, I've noticed you've mentioned that. He says, you'll feel safe here once you get used to us all. The pack protects its own. Your pack now. Starts tracing some patterns on her lower back, drawing curse words and stuff.
I guess.
She nestles deep into his arms. He lifts her chin. He kisses her. Says, "Of course you do, baby. You wouldn't be you if you didn't. Now kiss me so we can go to sleep because I have a good feeling things are going to get better soon."
I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's bonkers. Like
that was a wild chapter.
Yeah, that's probably the most climactic, no pun intended, chapter. Of the
Yeah.
entire.
Oh, absolutely. We're almost done. We got two other chapters to run through here, 8 and 9. So chapter 8. Again, they go back to sleep. Damien's cell phone wakes up. It's Diego.
He fished it out of his pants. I don't know where his pants are.
Yeah, where are the pants?
I guess they're back on now.
It was Diego.
Maybe he's like Dorian Gray. Apparently that guy has
Yeah.
like sex in his jeans, like
Right.
24/7.
It's possible. His brother lets him know you've got incoming, and he says, "Who?" He goes, "Rebel," and she's on the warpath. Dante collared your rogue, but not before he told the whole pack that your woman was marked. She attacked him herself, and it took 2 of us to drag her off of him. She still got off a shot, and the wolf's got a nice-sized hole in his leg. All of the stuff he's describing right now, I don't understand. So Rebel has a gun.
So
She was hunting with the pack.
Rebel's not a wolf.
Right.
Rebel wanted to get payback for what happened to Faith because I think
Sure.
she thinks Faith is a wolf now, which I guess she is.
Understandable. She is.
So she's
been bitten twice now.
She grabbed a shotgun and went with this pack of other wolves. I don't know how she would keep up with them to go hunt down the rogue. They got the rogue, and the rogue was like, yo lady is marked, dog. Like, the rogue said that. Like, the wolf was like, hey, I bit that girl. And then Rebel shot him in the leg.
I thought they were going to kill this guy.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And
then he goes, I knew that woman would be trouble. He just talked about how they were like, she was the best person to come to the club ever.
So he's a little worried. He's saying things are still fragile between him and Faith. They had a hell of a wild time in bed. The last thing she needed right now was to have to choose sides. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Faith wakes up. What's going on? Faith asked. Her voice behind him, soft from sleep, made him want to crawl back in bed and bite her again. While he was f***ing her, of course.
That didn't need to be
Didn't need
there.
that.
That's so extra.
He goes, nothing serious. You stay here and rest. You'll need for it when I come back. Okay, so that's a little sexual thing.
Okay. Are they just gonna do it for
Yeah.
10 weeks?
He goes, definitely my little wild thing. I'll be right back. And then he goes to the front door, and the front door comes crashing open, slamming against the wall.
It would have bounced back closed, except Rebel slammed it with her booted foot against the wood and held it up.
Using slam in that context is weird because they just described the door and slamming and that sort
So,
of thing.
She kicked open the door.
Sure.
And the
And
door.
she holds it shut.
But the door bounced off the wall and came ready to close back. So it was almost like one of those scenes where, like, if you kick open the door, it closes in your face. Mm-hmm. She kicks it and then does a weird hook thing with her leg to keep it open.
Sure. And keep in mind, she had consumed an entire bottle of tequila the previous night.
Like 6 hours before.
Red hair, tangled and wild.
She's red hair?
Yeah, apparently. So she comes in firing. Hey, asshole. You lied to me, told me Faith would be fine. She'd be safe with you. Where is she? In your f***ing bed. She lowered the shotgun propped against her shoulder and pointed it
Pull
at
the
his heart.
trigger. Pull
Whoa.
the trigger.
He goes, your sister's okay.
Yeah, she's safer here. You should know that. No, Rebel thought that.
Rebel just found out about this 3
Rebel
nights ago.
found out she lived in a city full of wolves.
Yeah.
How could that be safe?
She's saying, no, I know you lied. I'm not sure anymore that any of you guys can be trusted. Faith comes in, sheet wrapped around her
lush
frame.
I
So she
love
does the
it.
bit where she's naked and has the bed sheets wrapped
And
around
she's like,
her.
"What's going on? I didn't hear the commotion. You didn't hear the giant kick in the door?"
And then Rebel yells, her finger moving to the trigger of the gun. Liar, she screams. She had a life, a safe and happy one, and you stole her. This is not where she's supposed
I'm sorry,
to be.
I cannot understand the dynamic between these two sisters,
I have
because
no
you know
idea.
what we actually have never had?
Yeah.
An example of these two sisters having a conversation.
No.
They're both telling a different story.
No.
And that's the best part.
Because I thought Rebel was supposed to be the crazy one, wild one.
Rebel's the crazy
she
one.
She comes in, she's protective of her sister.
And Faith is like, "I'm the motherly one." Then halfway through the book, Faith is like, "Rebel was the one who took care of me." And Rebel's just like, "Yo, like, what'd you do to my sister? She's supposed to have a nice, happy life and
Yeah.
never be a
She's
stripper."
the good one.
Yeah.
So Faith gets the gun out of her hands. She.
That's a bold move.
Yeah. Rebel Jane Harris. What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't think we needed to. Of all the things I want to
Middle
know
name,
about
yeah.
this story, the middle name is at the bottom of the list.
Put that gun down and start explaining yourself. Faith had her hands on her hips, giving her sister what for. That term is like a 30s like cowboy term.
I'll give you what for, I tell you.
And all he could think about was she belonged to him now. Mine, the wolf growled. Not an appropriate time to be horny, Damien. You don't belong here. You have a life in Seattle. You're going to be a scientist. You can't be one of them now. First,
She was studying sociology
yeah, it
or
was
something.
Yeah, I don't think she was going to be a scientist.
What a generalization.
You can't go
You
off
were
the
gonna be a
rails.
scientist one
Yeah.
day.
You can't be a wolf. You were going to be a scientist.
I could be both. I can choose.
Yeah, she basically is like saying, good Lord, no pressure. Since when did I end up on the pedestal with the perfect life? I lost the same things you did. Now I'm on a different path, and you're
Yeah.
going to freak out. This kind of back and forth is actually really boring.
It's literally, there's nothing that's accomplished here.
The best
And then-
part is they're having that argument, and then they go, why don't we go in the kitchen and I'll fix us all something to drink.
and then it says he certainly needed it.
But there's no
But
guy
no one-
mentioned in that sentence.
No. So she says that, and Damien's like, "Man, I really needed that."
Because there's no guy talking, and then she grabbed the gun from Rebel and handed it back to him. So that must be Damien.
So Damien said, "Why don't we go in the kitchen? I'll
Yeah.
fix us a drink." And then his new mate, I guess, that's like their cute way of saying like they're mated now.
Sure.
And she was like, "Make it alcoholic, and you've got a deal." No, you're handling weapons.
Yeah, now's not a great time. Also, is it morning?
It's like-
Is it night? I
it's
don't
like
know.
I don't know.
So basically, they go through the. I guess they're in the strip club now. I don't understand. Are they in the motel? Where are they? Because it's the
don't
living
know.
room of his cabin. Okay, so they're in his cabin. He thought about how boring this place. So they randomly describe the inside of the cabin. It's not information anybody needs.
He had the ingredients for the usual margaritas and mojitos. that
Yes,
his
that,
patrons
I
and guests-
highlighted that.
And his patrons and guests ordered. Do his patrons and guests come to his
Yeah.
cabin?
All the
Because
time.
he's not obligated to have the same liquor available at a strip club.
He's a little good bartender here. Also, this description not needed. So he pulled out 3 tumblers, filled a bucket with ice, and a bottle of Disaronno.
And then they never mention it.
Why do you need that in there? So they're having some drinks. They're arguing a bit. Rebel is throwing out the idea that Damien could be the guy that bit Faith. She brings this up as an opportunity.
And she says he's pretty convincing, but he's willing to do anything to get what he wants. He literally spent 24 hours trying to get into her pants.
yeah,
and
that's
he did.
exactly what happened. So he objects to this.
That's
Faith
absurd.
also.
He barely
yeah.
knew me. They've been dreaming about each other for apparently years.
And now Rebel is all of us here. She goes, make him prove it. He can shift into a wolf, and you should be able to tell whether he was the wolf that attacked you or not.
Oh my God!
Thank you
yes.
for that, Rebel. She says, I will not. And he goes, I'll do it. Anything to get Rebel down from her latest rampage. But, he turned to Rebel, when I prove it wasn't me, you have to get chilled.
What does that mean?
Who's writing that?
Hey, bro,
is
you
that
gotta
a robot?
You gotta get chilled. You gotta chilled. You know.
You've been hysterical for days, and it's getting old. We're wolves, not mutant zombies here to eat your f***ing brains. All right, yeah, we're just wolves. I mean, we're like half wolf, half man.
on,
That's
what's
not
so hard to
That's not
understand
like a
about this?
weird thing. So Rebel,
I'll do what I can, but I'm not ruling out some freak of nature alien. So Rebel's already seen it,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, she's seen it, and she lets us know she's seen it.
But she doesn't think Damien's a wolf.
She must know because she says she's seen it before.
She has.
So he goes to the middle. So it's going to be a show. He moves to the middle of the living room and begins unbuttoning his shirt. He then unfastened his jeans and slid them down his legs. As we know, he's pretty quick with that.
So now he's just getting naked in front of his sisters.
And she asks, like, do you have to take it all off? Rebel snickered. He sure does. If I'm wearing...
Like, she knows. What?
She knows.
So that means in the parking lot, do you remember when Damien shifted?
Yeah.
Or, no.
Dante
had to shift to stop him.
So
in that situation, Damien was freaking out, and his brother's like, takes off all his clothes and then transforms.
They've all seen each other naked all the time. If I'm wearing clothes when I shift, they pretty much get shredded and ruined.
Yeah, no duh.
So here they go. And here's where she must have seen it, because she goes, don't worry, sis, it's not anything I haven't already seen. That's what Rebel says to Faith. And Faith goes, not helping. So she's seen Damien naked before, I guess. So here we go. He pulled on the strength of his wolf until he felt
the
fur
moving under his skin and pushing through. So in this scenario...
all like the hair follicles, I guess.
In this scenario, there's literally a wolf underneath of his skin.
Yeah.
And it pushes out.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be this easy for Faith the first time she shifted. He remembered that moment as painful and not fun at all.
But with him there to ease her transition... Oh, so he's
talking about when she's going to eventually do this.
It's going to be painful. Your first time is going to be painful.
Yeah, first time. What the hell is going on here? Damien sighed the sound of Dante's voice behind him. So Dante appears, apparently. And then they fill him in. And Dante's goes, you mated her? Hell to the f***ing yeah. It's about goddamn time.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, this has not really been a thing for even that long. Also,
so
Damien's
he didn't
naked.
Transform. So the wolf was starting to push through his skin, but he didn't transform. So did anything really happen?
Yeah, because then he scoops his pants from the floor and yanks them back on his legs. So he didn't transform. Yeah, you're right. He was going to do it, and then he goes ahead, because they say Damien here is going to shift into his wolf form and prove to Faith. Then Dante comes in, hugs him, and Damien puts his pants back on.
And he's like, well, guys, I got stopped. And then they're talking about the rogue wolf, and it's like he got shot. And then they're just like, hey, yeah, healing a little gunshot wound is nothing because we're wolves. I didn't think wolves gave you the healing capability because when you're a wolf, you're still a wolf, you know?
Yeah.
So if you get shot, you're just shot.
You're still, it's still a wound. Rebel's kind of being bitchy. Faith even asks, why are you being so bitchy? Rebel takes a downs the rest of her Disaronno.
So she's just going back to square one. Like,
and then she points towards Dante, and apparently, and Faith comes to realization that I guess Rebel and Dante are true mates or something. Because then Rebel's like, if only he was so lucky. I'm out of here. I've lost interest in any more of this crap. So is she matched with Dante or not? I don't understand.
I guess. I mean, so I think Dante loves her, but Rebel's like, nah, I'm all right.
Because Dante's like, if I mate with Rebel and my true mate shows up, I don't know. I just can't do that to her.
And he says, you can still love her without it. And he's like, but if I mate, if I mate with Rebel, my true mate shows up, I don't know.
So I guess everybody has a true mate.
He loves her, but she's not his true mate.
Yeah, like true love.
That's weird. I don't understand that concept. That's gonna have to.
So
that needs explanation.
So he could like bang Rebel, and then suddenly like his real true love arrives, and then
he'll pull then he'll get an erection immediately and go after her. Yeah.
So they tell Dante to go after Rebel.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
And then apparently, the rogue wolf escapes. He was snatched by a hunter.
So on this island run by this wolf society, an entire pack goes out, shoots a wolf, drags him back, puts him somewhere. A hunter from out of nowhere goes, well, yep, there's a wolf right there. Yeah, it's chained up, got a hole in it, but I want that thing, and just takes it. Does that make any sense? Like,
who's this hunter?
Where's the security? Where's Mavis and Bud?
Where's the rest of the pack?
Yeah, were they just like, all right, we got him, guys. High five. Let's go have sex. And they're out of there.
What, did they just tie him up outside?
I don't know. And a hunter shouldn't just be able to walk onto land with their super wolf smell. They'd be like, the air has changed.
So apparently, the whole reason, because they were trying to find this rogue wolf, and they captured him. He's escaped. Mm-hmm. Chapter 9.
With a hole in his leg.
With the hole in his leg from Rebel shooting somebody, which again, still a crime. Final chapter of the book here, people. Here we go. Final stretch. So Faith goes back into the cabin. Here we go. It seems surreal that only a couple days ago she'd taken her final college exams, and now she was as far away from that life as she could possibly be. Sometime soon, though, they'd have to discuss the fact that she still needed to pursue her career
As a scientist.
Tacoma was close, and it had plenty of opportunity for a new graduate with a forensic science degree.
What is Tacoma? Is that the university or the state?
The city. It must be the city. But also, is this like a sales pitch for Tacoma? It's like, Tacoma has
the
plenty of
Pacific
opportunity.
Northwest, it's got a lot of things going for it. It has a school.
So she had plenty of opportunity for a new graduate with forensic science degree. Once she adjusted to her wolf, that is. She found Damien standing at the kitchen bar drinking.
Again, this has to be early morning.
Maybe she'd bring it up next week or the week after that. For now, she had a lot to learn, and judging by the scowl on his face, he needed her support. It looked like her dream of spending the next few days in bed with him were about to be crushed. She's like, yeah, I mean, eventually we're going to talk about how we're going to make this wolf thing work with my science degree, kind of how at Tacoma, we got to move. But he seems a little pissed right now, so I'm not going to worry about this.
And she, sniffs him, and she's like, you're like, it smells stronger. And then, she's thinking this, and he just goes, your sense of smell is heightening.
Oh, yeah.
Your first shift isn't far behind. I'm scared. Don't be. I'll be with you every step of the way.
So the first shift is coming soon, apparently, for her. It's starting to happen. I guess she's morphing in a way.
Yeah, and he's just like, and she's like, what about the hunter who just kind of walked on? Yeah. You guys didn't know about it.
Here's a great way that they explain this off.
And he's just like, that's the beauty of the pack. No matter how small we are, we have each other's back. So their pack could be them three.
They're like, yeah, that rogue wolf's escaped, but you know what? I've got brothers. You should be fine. I mean, we'll figure it out. We're not really worried about it.
You and any other mates will be the party. How big is their pack? If this island is 90%
because they've only mentioned Diego, Dante, and Damien. That's the only wolves that they've mentioned.
And they keep saying that everyone on the island is pretty much a wolf.
Yeah.
So how did a hunter sneak onto this island, take a wolf?
I've always wanted to hunt for.
Take a wolf that they were watching and leave.
She asks about Rebel. True mate or not, Dante's been following her around since the moment she wandered onto our island. It's not creepy at all.
Yeah, that's not weird. And and she's like, what about Rebel? If they couldn't accept the fact she needed her twin nearby, they're gonna have a problem. They went their separate ways already.
She asks him,
oh, I love this.
Do we have time before my change?
Okay.
So I guess she's anticipating the change, I guess.
Yeah.
Time for what? He asked, kissing the top of her head.
I was thinking maybe you could bite me again.
He growled, a deep rumble that made her heart beat faster.
And his nostrils flared at the same time.
About to throw up right now.
Damn. You're already wet.
Oh,
that's disgusting,
that's so
dog.
gross.
They probably smell so bad.
Oh, they have not showered. She's covered in blood. So basically,
that smile that he gave her nearly made her panties melt. We established she was naked.
Yes.
Also, your panties.
Yeah, she just had the sheets around her.
Your panties don't just disintegrate off.
I hate that phrase.
Oh God.
So he scoops up her in her arms. He carries her into the bedroom, saying they're laughing about. Hope nobody interrupts us this time. If anyone comes through the door unannounced, they will do so at their own peril. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets between a shifter and his mate.
All he's saying is, "Don't come in while
that pillow talk." He drops her onto the bed. He speaks to her thighs as if it's kind of like a tomb or like a mummy. Like
open,
he's making a command.
Sesame.
Yeah, he says open. And I guess they do. And then he rips her panties off.
So she did put them back on.
I guess. And she responds like, hey, I could have just, taken those off. And he's like, nah, that wouldn't be any fun. And then he goes down south.
You could have warned me.
Yeah.
He literally ripped off her panties.
I think
with
she
kind
of knew what was happening there.
He rumbled against... Oh, I thought that said against her sensitive skin. I don't know what that means, and I don't want to know. Yeah. And her eyes roll
like the
to the back of her
the
head.
game controllers when they have the rumble pack.
Rumble.
So they're doing the deed here. She mentions how it had taken her by surprise how much she enjoyed him taking control in the bedroom. Now she couldn't get enough. She wanted to stay like this forever.
Christ.
They're again doing that. She is, I guess, close, if you will. And he goes ahead and says, "Not without me, baby." He kissed his way up to her stomach, hitting a particularly sensitive spot that made her knife forward, so she got a good look at his mouth and tongue working her. Holy hell, he looked like a wild man. with his dark hair
And the
disheveled.
days old stubble. It sounds like
I thought he had a full beard.
he shaved it, obviously.
I guess, across his chin and cheeks, and a taut strain of muscles across his arms and chest. Please don't stop, she
Jesus
begs.
Christ.
Okay. Basically, he's telling her, like, I want you to, like, he asks, like, what will you...
Oh, please tell me you highlighted this sentence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of like, they're like not having sex, but almost having sex. Like he's doing this teasing thing, and she's trying to like get after him.
Sure.
If you know what I mean.
Sure.
And then he just keeps asking like, "What are you gonna give me? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want?" Like,
Or no, she's saying, whatever it is, I'll do it. You're killing me. That's
Yeah.
what she's
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
She's like, what do you want? Because he's like, what will you give me? And then she says that.
he just
Yeah.
goes, "I want your wolf, baby."
What a
It's-
line.
Thank God that there's a comma.
That might be
because
my favorite quote of the book.
I want your wolf, baby.
I want your wolf, baby.
Don't you already have it?
And then he
you
goes,
bit me. What is that?
And then he goes, I need to see her.
So is he trying to make her shift?
He's like,
That's weird.
He's like, I really, you right now, you look good. I really need to see like the wolf version of you. That's really the only way I can kind of do this.
I'm a furry, so
So this is weird because so he asks her. He says, "Let me see her."
ew. It's
then-
like, holy shit, baby, she's so beautiful. It's like it. I literally.
But she hasn't even transformed yet. So
and
how
it-
is
and
she?
It sounds like she's giving birth, right? Like
Yeah.
this is what the doctor's saying. Like, I see the head. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful baby boy.
And it even sounds like that because his words were killing her. She imagined seeing what he saw. She imagined him seeing what she saw. The beautiful, caring man with the wild wolf straining inside him. Right then, her skin felt like it was going to burst. She felt the blood moving under her skin. More of her lived than ever before. What's happening?
Your wolf is being born, and she's going to be magnificent.
It's like a baby.
Not to mention all mine. That's disgusting. He's like,
goes-
I put a like. There's a literal wolf inside of you now, and it's mine. It's my kid.
She goes, "You belong to me too, Damien." He goes, "Damn f***ing right."
Oh my god, dog.
And this is a line, I'll bleep this out, but if you don't f*** me right this instant, I am going to die from this ache, and then I'll haunt your ass for eternity. Is that what you want?
Yes,
And
that's exactly what anyone wants in this life.
then he does a little howl there as they are in the thrust of love there. His gaze held her captive, and she watched the man/wolf the whole time. Warm breath and soft gasps filled the room. She was lost and found all at the same time.
Oh god! And then like her eyes keep closing, and
Fluttering.
he goes, "Keep them open, Faith. Look at me when
Yeah, yeah.
when you do
Yeah.
when you orgasm."
And then
And then she's like, "And that did it. Like
it
that worked."
shot through her, and then he goes, "Mine." She goes, "Hell yes," she said. "All yours and all mine."
Okay, that
that's-
closes Devil's
Oh
Point
my god.
of the first of the Devil's Wolves trilogy, which means there are 2 more books in this novella series.
There are. And I believe they're by like different authors and stuff like that. Let's just take a sec here. We're going to get into some discussion questions. So that finishes chapters 1 through 9 of Devil's Point Wolves Wild, by the Mating Season Collection by Eliza Gale.
That was a wild ride.
And for those who read the book, you're right there with us because you just experienced.
I'm hoping that if you guys were reading along, so like I get super excited when Ben and
Yeah.
I both highlight the same passage
Yeah.
because it's so crazy. And so this is your chance to like scream at your iPhone and be like, yes, like that is insane.
Yeah.
Like I read that too because this is, I get it. You know, people have different tastes. This person is a published author, right? I don't have any published books.
No?
But this is bananas. It
Because-
is amazing what you can get published.
Oh, yeah. And I described this to someone the other day. The reason why these romance novels are so funny is because the authors focus on the romance more than the plot, and that leaves the plot holes and the character development to be just in the toilet.
It's
Which
just
is
like
why it's so hilarious.
it's interesting. It's like when I listen to descriptions of the people,
Yeah.
I'm convinced that Eliza Gale has never actually seen another human being in her life.
No. She's never seen a strip club.
The proportions are off.
Uh-huh. She's never been in a car.
Has she had
Never
sex?
been to a town. I don't know. I think she has a family. I think she's got a family.
What do you mean,
Doesn't
like a mom and
necessarily
dad?
No, I think she's like a mom. She's like older, I think.
Oh, she gave birth to wolf pups. Yeah, we
Yeah,
covered this.
well, yes.
This is actually her autobiography.
Right. So we've got some discussion questions, Salty Dalton. I've got 10 of them. We're going to run through these. We got our pens. And here's the thing. For you at home, feel free to follow along, join along in the discussion. If you want to send us any messages or emails, therandomwordblog@gmail.com. We'll post a couple pictures of our answers here as well, but let's get into it. So first question, Salty Dalton. What was your initial reaction to the book? Did it hook you immediately or take some time to get into?
It probably didn't get like good until an entire chapter in.
It was chapter 2 or 3.
Like it felt like, so it was exciting in the wrong way. Like I felt like I got dropped into a book that was almost over, and I was expected to know what was happening, and then I had to piece it together all over again.
Yeah, chapter 2 or 3, I think, is when things got good.
I
did not hook us immediately.
The wolf teleportation part was pretty good. That one, again,
probably one of my favorite moments of the book, I would say.
I just don't understand.
Oh, and we actually have a question coming up on that. But number 2, do you think the story was plot based or character driven?
That's tough. I'd say, neither.
Yeah, I'd say neither either.
Absolutely not,
because they didn't spend that much time with the character development, and they didn't spend that much time with the plot.
But they had tried. Like they were like, Faith is a good girl, but it felt like I was reading like a four sentence summary on the person as a whole.
Yeah,
and then had to not be surprised when they acted certain ways.
What was your favorite? Or I'll let you ask me this one. We'll go back and forth.
What was your favorite quote / passage?
So, I mean, we just read that
I want your wolf baby. I think
that might be the quote of the book.
So the only other favorite quotes, the ones we've been posting on the Instagram, obviously, but
yes,
you've stumbled into wolf country.
That's a great one too.
It's probably pretty far up there.
Yeah, I like that one as well. Let's see. I'll ask you this one. What made the setting unique or important? Could the story have taken place anywhere?
You could have put the story on the moon, and it would not have mattered because we talked about the Pacific Northwest. In the first page.
Yes.
And then we don't mention anything until she brings up how close Tacoma is.
Yes. The distances.
Honestly, it was on an island that wasn't even like. I had no idea where the story is taking place, to be honest. All I knew is Seattle was about an hour away, and then she was an hour away of Seattle, and it took place on an island. It literally, you could have told me it was in Brazil.
It didn't matter where it was.
It would not have changed the story.
Did you pick out any themes throughout the book? Any themes?
So I got some overt themes where it's like, oh man, it's like, so there's like a lot of, obviously, it's a sexual book, right?
Sure.
This is like a sexual Bible of sorts. It was like Damien kept saying, like when he was like talking about like when he first started sexually assaulting her, he would say stuff like,
I'm not laughing at sexual assault. I'm laughing because that's what it was, and it wasn't recognized as that in the book.
And he said this one thing, and it's probably in like chapter 6 or something.
Yeah.
It was like after they first kind of made out, or the first time they had sex. It was after the first time they had sex. So chapter 7, he goes like, she had finally accepted me for what I was in the bedroom, and that's where I was like, this is more just weird fetish stuff.
It is.
Because like with the licking and all this other stuff, I was like, this is it's the furry themes, right? So like I think that she is a furry.
A furry, yeah.
But I think like
all of this was just costume.
She's trying to normalize this activity and being like painting Damien as like, oh, it's so sad, like no one accepts the way he makes love, and it's like that's not the issue.
That's not.
It's not. But he kept saying that, and I picked up on that, and I think that was like one of the weird things.
I think so. All right, go ahead and ask me number 6 here. What do we got?
How did the characters change throughout the story? How did your opinion of them change?
Man, so Faith changed dramatically over the span of 30, 40 pages.
It was like a ping pong match.
Because she was anything. She was not really into Damien, and then by, page 45, they were in bed, and she was in love with him.
And then page 46, she didn't.
And then she didn't like him again, and then she's like, I want to be a wolf too, let's be wolves together, but I am studying to be a scientist.
What about any of the characters your opinion changed on? For me, it's got to be Rebel, right?
So Rebel's clearly the best character in this book because
100%.
The way the book ends, Rebel has left. She's been gone. She's like, screw you guys. She leaves. Damien's like, oh, my brothers will take care of her. They follow her all
She
the time.
shot a wolf
Yeah,
because
with a
it bit
shotgun.
her sister.
Yeah.
While her sister is busy mating the wolf.
Rebel is by far the
I
only
think
redeemable and Maud and Pip or whatever.
Mavis and Bud.
Mavis and Bud. Okay.
Oh, first of all,
I keep incorrectly remembering their names.
Mavis and Bud is
Never
the biggest
appeared
mystery
again.
of that. I am more upset in Billy. They mentioned 3
Yeah.
people they never
If there was a
explained.
Mavis and Bud book, like I would read that before I read this.
They never talk about Mavis and Bud, and they don't talk about Billy. I'm
No.
assuming they're all werewolves, but I need backstory.
How did the structure of the book affect the story? So I guess this would apply to like the length.
The
like,
flow?
Yeah, the flow and the length. and,
Flow
like-
was bad.
Yeah.
Length was bad.
Yeah.
It was so short that they literally rushed to a conclusion, and the conclusion
Like 3 things happened in the book, if you think about it.
it was Faith got bit.
That was like the big thing.
Faith meets Damien.
Yeah.
They have sex.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
much
is
the book.
literally the entire thing. Like, you can look it over.
Yeah.
There's 3 major events, and she owns a Mini Cooper.
Right.
But I think it was like, I get that there's supposed to be 2 more books that I don't know if they're supposed to continue this
Yeah, I don't
story
know.
because that's like being handed like a baton that's on fire and
Yes.
melting. It was just like, it felt so rushed that I still am not confident. I could not tell you what the situation is.
No, I
Like,
don't know
what
where
the-
we
I
left
don't,
off.
I don't know what the political climate is like of the
Yeah,
island.
that's true. Yeah, are they running for mayor of the island? They own all the other things on there. I don't know.
That's what they said. They're like, we're all wolves here,
Oh.
but there's a population of 3.
Number 8's a good question here. Go ahead and ask away.
Which character did you relate to the most, and what was it about them that you connected with?
Rebel. I think Rebel is who we connected with the most.
she
Because
can't-
Rebel was like, I hate all of you guys. I'm just trying to strip my way through college or whatever. Like, I don't care about all the wolf stuff.
She saw a wolf transform.
Yeah, it freaked her out. She
of
drank
all,
a little
well,
bit.
first of all, she saw a man stripped naked, transform, and
Yeah.
then stop his brother.
And then stop his brother. She's like, are these brothers? I don't know what's going on in this family. I don't know.
So, and then she was like, you know what? Maybe it was a bad dream. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just go get tanked.
Get wasted.
And then she wakes up from
And
her
then
hangover.
goes and hunts the wolf that bit her sister.
Think about this. In 6 hours is when this happened. So she left her sister. Her sister's mumbling nonsense on the couch. Within 6 hours, Rebel goes, looks over at like Dante, be like, "You still a wolf?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "It, give me that gun." Like,
Where did the shotgun even come from?
no one knows.
That's the question. Not many strippers have shotguns, but maybe they do in this town. How did you feel about the ending? What did you like? What did you not like? And what do you wish had been different?
Everything.
Everything.
I didn't
Literally.
like how it
We
ended.
it didn't even leave on like a good cliffhanger. It was
All that happened was they had sex
twice, basically.
Twice.
And that was
There's
it.
no exposition. They're like, oh yeah, the rogue wolf has escaped.
they have-
they literally were like, oh, Rebel will go deal
Oh my god!
with it.
So they have sex. Dante comes in. We captured the wolf. Then Dante lets them know the wolf's the rogue wolf's gone.
Within like 30 minutes.
Dante leaves. Rebel leaves. They have sex again. That's the second half of the book.
and she goes, shouldn't we go after that wolf? Nah, baby, it's fine. We're gonna have sex. They'll take care of it. That was the ending.
That was it.
There's nothing more. She doesn't turn into a wolf.
Nope.
He just keeps saying like, oh baby, your wolf
And
is
he doesn't
beautiful."
turn into a wolf either.
And he never turns into
He
a
was
wolf.
about to, and then they come in. He puts his pants back on. Final question here.
If
Oh,
the
this- I
book were
cannot
being
wait for this.
adapted into a movie, who would you want to see play what parts? All right,
Wow, this is a big question.
Damien. Damien's got to be a big one.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah, because they got to be kind of big and grizzled. My initial thought, just
Vin
because,
Diesel with hair?
well, that's an option. I immediately thought of John Bernthal,
Oh,
Venom.
yes.
John Bernthal. I think that is a possibility. Big chiseled guy. Maybe if you want to go kind of multicultural, you bring in like Idris Elba into that sort of role.
Yeah.
He's kind of a jacked dude.
Yeah, I think I see Idris as more of the Dante.
Yes,
Because
more
he's
of the
like
brother. Yeah,
he's like wants faith, can't have faith, but he's like that level-headed brother who's like apparently he's literally taking care of everything.
apparently.
Yeah.
Any
So
other actors that you feel like could be in play?
I'd say Carl Urban as Damien maybe
Sure,
too.
sure.
So we're talking Faith
Faith.
and Rebel here.
Oof.
Faith. Now Adele.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Based on
Give an
based on the
acting-
rough like
Sure.
the voice range,
Uh-huh.
the body profile.
Sure. It could match. Now Adele did lose a bunch of weight. I don't
She
know if you
did,
saw
but-
the pictures.
I have, but like
But-
still that Adele now
Yeah.
might be more closer.
That could be an interesting casting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are we going to choose?
Have I found
And then she
like
could do the
you?
soundtrack for the movie
Yeah.
as well, which could work great. What about Rebel? That's a question.
Scarlett Johansson? No.
No, she's too big.
It's got to be like someone scrappy, kind of.
Yeah.
But with red hair, like Scrappy wants to fight stripper.
I don't know if you
but
know
sex-
Saoirse Ronan. She's in Little Women. She's in other stuff. She could.
Oh,
could
which
be
one
that
is she in
role.
Little Women?
She's Joe. She's like the main.
Yes.
Like that.
Okay.
So
I
that
see
could
that.
work.
Yep, 100%.
In a possible way, and she's also Irish, so I'm sure she could go red. Also, is there? I don't know any. But you need. Yeah, you're right. You need
Who do
somebody
you think,
like
who do
scrappy.
you think
in the
Mavis
role.
and Bud are?
Now Mavis and Bud. That's a
Bud,
big question.
Bud is Patton Oswalt.
Bud is Patton Oswalt, and then maybe Megan Mullally.
Okay.
Could be Mavis. Maybe the woman who plays Phyllis in The Office.
I like that.
She could be Mavis.
I like that. Now, who's Billy? Billy's the only other character we know.
Oh man, Billy. Aziz Ansari. No, that was just wild,
Actually.
I guess it could be.
Yeah,
Billy.
why not?
Kind
Yeah.
of comic relief, comes in for one quick scene and
Yeah.
runs
I
away.
like that. Okay, that's all the characters. We named
Yeah.
every single character.
That'd be one hell of a movie.
In like 100 pages,
Yeah,
we've met 5 people.
5 people.
And 3 of them were never actually described.
Yeah,
So, actually, we know who's the hunter and
No
who's the
idea.
rogue wolf.
no idea.
So, the rogue wolf is just a CGI wolf right now.
Yeah.
But the rogue hunter,
Oh,
who is that? Who's the
true.
hunter who came and took the wolf back? That's
Yeah.
got to be like someone
somebody
like
like mysterious. Yeah.
grizzled, a little mysterious, kind of.
Heck, maybe you bring. I don't know if he still wants to do movies, but Robert Downey Jr. He could age him up a little bit.
He could. I think it's got to be someone who's like, oh God, who's the guy with he's the narrator for Ghost Rider. He was in Parks and Rec. He was the other Ron. I can't, for the love of God, I can't remember his name. Huge mustache. He's got that deep voice.
The other Ron?
Yeah.
So not Ron Swanson.
No, when they merged the departments.
Right. Not Sam Elliott, is it?
Yes.
Okay, Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam
the older
Elliott,
guy, white hair. Yeah,
older
yeah.
guy, he's the
Yeah,
hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could work. That's he literally looks like a hunter.
So they've been introduced Mavis and Bud,
Yeah.
Billy, the hunter, and the rogue wolf, of which we've never actually met.
Never met.
So there's 5 characters.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about them.
Nope.
Dante, Diego.
Yeah.
We've never actually seen Diego. Throw Diego out.
So
There's,
those brothers, those could be like side characters.
there's 6 characters we actually don't have a description for.
Yeah,
Other
that's
than
true.
one is a wolf.
Yeah.
Dante, Damien, Faith Rebel.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4
That's it.
people in this entire book who it centers around.
It's incredible.
She could have just thrown out any f***ing names in the world.
They didn't even need to be. Those characters didn't need to be in the book.
No.
You think Mavis and Bud needed to be in the book? It was like Mavis and Bud would probably know. They know everybody in town, and then later in the book they
Who
say.
are they?
Later in the book they say, "Well, we own everything in the town, and our pack is everywhere in the town." Are Mavis and Bud part of the pack? I sure
They've
hope
gotta
so.
be. I hope so too.
Um,
I think that's pretty good casting.
Yeah, I think that works.
They talk about the dead parents. So in a
Yeah.
flashback, who were the dead parents? That's the last one I can think of.
No idea. You got to pick like some older people.
Oh, how old though? They got to be like relatively young. Like
What do
they
you want?
died.
Robert
what?
De Niro? I don't know.
Robert De Niro.
De Niro, Meryl Streep.
Meryl
Here's
Streep.
how-
Let's just have a powerhouse
You
cameo.
pay like $10 million to each to be in like
Yeah.
one scene.
and their only scene is, "I want you to be a scientist one day, Faith."
That's exactly right.
Oh,
That was
no,
the final
another
word.
car!
That
And
was
then
the
they
final
crash,
words
yeah.
on the deathbed. So real quick before we wrap up, so that is Wild Devil's Point Wolves #1, the mating season collection by Eliza Gale. Please go and read the book if you haven't, obviously, and re-listen to these episodes. But
you won't regret it.
we did want to, before we end this show, I wanted to pitch 3 possibilities for the next Bad Book Club. So you at home can be a little bit a part of this process here. So Salty Dalton, I've got 3 possibilities for you.
I will make my formal announcement on Instagram
Yes.
later this week.
Later this week, yeah. We won't make the selection right now, but I'm going to give you the individual pitches. So
Let's do it.
And I've got the descriptions of each book as well.
Pitch it
So
to
first
me.
one, Mind Games by T.K. Lee. Here's the description.
That sounds like a TK Lee.
It sounds like a karate instructor.
I think I've seen his
No
van.
offense.
I think I've seen his van driving around.
So it's called Mind Games. Here we go. 8 years ago, I agreed to marry the man of my dreams. 8 years ago, I realized I'd also given a piece of my heart to his brother. 8 years ago, I made the decision to walk away from both men. What choice did I have? I couldn't stay with Jesse, knowing the flame I carried for Asher burned just as bright, maybe even brighter. So I did the only thing I could. I walked away with no intention of seeing either man again, until I step into a bar in Vegas and see a much more mature, much sexier version of Asher York, a guitar strapped to him, his soulful voice reminding me
strapped to
of
him in a
everything-
Vegas bar.
of everything I've tried to forget. But there's no forgetting Asher York, and when he looks at me with the same raw hunger, there's no denying the fire between us still burns.
I don't know which one she married. Did
Can
she
I-
marry Jesse?
I think she married Jesse.
Okay.
Can I look past the reason I left all those years ago for one night with him? There's only one way to find out. Let the games begin. Mind Games by T.K.
I'm assuming they're not married anymore, so sure.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
could have a one-night stand with him.
So
Ooh, I do
there's-
like that
there's
one.
Brothers.
That's pretty
There's
saucy.
a singer. Mind Games.
He's like at the bar,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
picture this in normal times.
Uh-huh.
If I see a man at the bar with a guitar strapped to his back,
yeah.
I'm not
Then
gonna.
He's probably not playing.
I'm not gonna talk to that
No.
guy.
These ones are shorter. This one is Beneath This Mask by Megan March.
Ooh.
Former Navy fighter pilot, son of a congressman, successful businessman in my own right.
I'm already
With a
into
resume
this.
like mine, women have never been a challenge until I met her. This sexy, tatted up bad girl wasn't part of my plans, but that punch to my gut every time I see her tells me I have to know more. She's a mystery, an enigma, a challenge. I'm going to figure her out, and then I'm going to make her mine. We'll find out what she's hiding beneath this mask. It's called Beneath This Mask by Megan March.
I'm not gonna lie, that one has now
Strong.
moved to
It's a strong candidate.
and it's from the guy's point of view,
Now,
which is going to be incredible.
yes,
to
exactly.
take a
It's from the
dive
guy's
into
point of
that.
view.
Yeah.
Now this last one, I'm going to read it verbatim, the way that the description was written on Amazon. A torch lit and ignited, a teacher-student romance novel. I sent you the screenshot of the picture of this.
Yes.
Here's the description. This is verbatim. I did not change a word. A story that started with a childish attitude as a young girl, lead to disappointments initially, but changed her life forever. She could not have imagined all of this unless it happened. When you stop running after things, let me get through this. When you stop running after things, they come back to you faster. Whereas if you keep holding onto things, you will never be able to see what the future has in store for you. With spirits uplifted and the torch ignited, he strived to make it easier for both of them. They might be unable to understand the reasons for a lot of things initially, but when they got the answers, they realized how small these things were. But they were going through it. It seems to be a never-ending struggle. Time never remains the same. Their stars will be bright too, but first they got to prove themselves sufficient enough to deserve it. When they were ready, they would get exactly what they deserved. A torch lit and ignited, a teacher-student romance novel.
They keep talking about the
I don't know what any of that means.
What are the torches? Who are the characters?
And what does that have to do with teachers and students?
Which one's a teacher? Okay,
So
I'm not
that's-
gonna lie. I know that we said that we weren't going to pick this now.
Sure.
I'm picking the fighter pilot one.
Beneath This Mask by
Beneath
Megan
This
March.
Mask. Everyone, Rando Nation,
Wow.
get a head start.
It is
Beneath
a
This
free
Mask.
Kindle ebook. Now, Mandy, if you're listening at this point, I'd be surprised. Mandy listens to like 15 minutes and pretends she knows the show. Mandy, if you're listening, I will correctly state this. It is a free ebook. You're not purchasing anything, according to Mandy.
If you look at the tape, Ben it just rolled his eyes when he said that.
Go on your phone, your internet. You go and search Amazon Kindle Store. You can't do it through the app. You have to do it through your web browser. Go to the Kindle Store. Look up Beneath This Mask by Megan March. We'll post a picture of it as well on the Instagram. And then go there and download the book. It is free, $0, FREE, free. Download it into your Kindle app and start reading it. I believe this is a full-length novel. So we'll have much more time with this one.
Maybe
to
some
spend
more
to dive
character
in.
development.
We probably won't go as verbatim through each chapter as much with a longer book, but then again, maybe we still will if it's that bad. So keep a lookout. We'll let you know when we start doing the next book. But for now, might as well get it, start downloading it. Besides that, Salty Dalton.
Hey, it was a hell of a ride. Hell of a ride, Ben.
I mean,
Hell of a ride.
Eliza Gale gave us some tremendous entertainment. Feel free to go rate that book on Amazon. It would be great. In my mind, it would be hilarious if Eliza Gale just started getting these random reviews of her book on Amazon, 5 stars, and they're all from our audience.
That'd be great. I'm gonna go drop a review tonight.
Yeah, I'll write one as well.
So I think you guys have enough content here to laugh, to go away. You know what you're downloading next. This was Bad Book Club.
Yes.
And remember, you are now leaving Wolf Country.
And I want your wolf. What's the line again?
I want your wolf, baby.
I want your wolf, baby. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you. This has been the Bad Book Club.